answer me. Stand and unfold yourself.
Long live the king.
Bernardo?
He.
You come most carefully upon your hour.
'Tis now 12. Get thee to bed, Francisco.
For this relief, much thanks. 'Tis bitter cold, and I am sick at heart.
Have you had quiet guard?
Not a mouse stirring.
Well, good night. If you do meet Horatio and Marcellus, the rivals of my watch, bid them make haste.
I think I hear them. Stand ho! Who is there?
Friends to this ground.
And Lehman to the Dane.
Give you good night.
Oh, farewell, honest soldier. Who hath relieved you?
Bernardo hath my place. Give you good night.
Hello, Bernardo.
Say, what is Horatio there?
Aye, a piece of him.
Welcome, Horatio. Welcome, good Marcellus.
What, has this thing appeared again tonight?
I've seen nothing.
Horatio says 'tis but our fantasy, and will not let belief take hold of him, touching this dreaded sight, twice seen of us. Therefore I have entreated him along in the minutes of our watch, that if again this apparition come, he may approve our eyes and speak to it.
'Twill not appear.
Sit down a while, and let us once again assail your ears that are so fortified against our story, what we have 2 nights seen. Last night of all, when yon same star that's westward from the pole had made his course to illume that part of heaven where now it burns, Marcellus and myself, the bell then beating one,
Peace, break thee off, look where it comes again.
in the same figure like the king that's dead.
Thou art a scholar, speak to it, Horatio.
Looks he not like the king? Mark it, Horatio.
Most like. It harrows me in fear and wonder.
It would be spoke to?
Speak to it, Horatio.
What art thou, that usurps this time of night together with that fair and warlike form in which the buried majesty of Denmark did sometimes march? By heaven, I charge thee, speak.
It is offended.
Speak?
Say, speak, speak, I charge thee, speak.
'Tis gone.
How now, Horatio? You tremble and look pale. Is not this something more than fantasy? What think you on it?
Before my God, I might not disbelieve without the true and sensible avouch of mine own eyes. And what particular thought it is to work, I know not. But in the gross and scope of mine opinion, this bodes some strange eruption to our state.
Good now, and tell me, he that knows by the same strict and most observant watch so nightly toils the subject of the land, who is that can inform me?
That can I. At least the whisper goes so. Our last king, whose image even but now appeared to us, was, as you know, by Fortinbras of Norway, dared to the combat, wherein our valiant Hamlet did slay this Fortinbras, who, with sealed compact, well ratified by law and heraldry, did forfeit with his life all those his lands of which he stood seized of to the conqueror. Now, sir, this young Fortinbras of unimproved metal, hot and full, hath in the skirts of Norway here and there sharked up a list of lawless resolutes for food and diet to some enterprise that hath a stomach in it. This, I take it, is the main motive of our preparations, the source of this our watch, and the chief head of this post-haste and rummage in the land.
I think it be no other, but so
Soft, lo where it comes again, I'll cross it though it blast me. Stay, illusion. If thou hast any sound or use of voice, speak to me. If there any good thing to be done, which by doing may to thee do ease and grace to me, speak to me. If thou art privy to thy country's fate, which haply foreknowing may avoid. Oh, speak! Or, if thou hast uphoarded in thy life, extorted the treasures of earth's womb, as they oft say you spirits walk in death, speak of it. Stay! Speak! Stop it, Marcellus.
Shall I strike it with my partisan?
Do if it will not stand.
'Tis here.
'Tis here!
Gone. We do it wrong, being so majestical to offer the show of violence. For it is of the air, invulnerable, and our vein blows malicious mockery.
It was about to speak when the cock crew.
And then it started like a guilty thing upon a fearful summons.
It faded on the crowing of the cock. And then they say no spirit dare stir it abroad.
So I have heard, and do in part believe it. But look, the morn in russet mantle clad walks o'er the dews of yon high eastward hills. Break we our watch up, and upon my advice let us inform young Hamlet of what we have seen here tonight. For, on my life, this spirit dumb to us will speak to him. Do you consent that we shall inform him of it, as needful in our loves befitting our duty?
Let's do it. I pray, and I this morning know where we shall find him most convenient.
Though yet of Hamlet our dear brother's death the memory be green, and that it us befitted to bear our hearts in grief, and our whole kingdom to be contracted in one brow of woe, yet so far hath discretion fought with wisdom that we with wisest sorrow think on him together with remembrance of ourselves. Therefore our sometime sister, now our queen, the imperial jointress to this warlike state, have we, as 'twere with a defeated joy, with an auspicious and a dropping eye, with mirth in funeral and dirge in marriage, in equal scale weighing delight and dole taken to wife. Nor have we here in Barger better wisdoms, which have freely gone with this affair along. For all our thanks. Now follows what you know. Young Fortinbras, holding a weak supposal of our worth, are thinking by our late dear brother's death, our state to be disjoint and out of frame, colleagued with this dream of his advantage, he hath not failed to pester us with message importing the surrender of those lands lost by his father with all bonds of law to our most valiant brother. So much for him. Now for ourself, and for this time of meeting. We have here writ to Norway, uncle of young Fortinbras, who, impotent and bedrid, scarcely hears of this his nephew's purpose, to suppress his further gate herein, in that the levies, lists, and full proportions are all made out of his subject. And we here dispatch you for bearer of this greeting to old Norway, giving to you no further personal power to business with the king more than the scope of these dilated articles allow. Farewell, and let your haste commend your duty.
In that, in all things, we will show our duty.
We doubt it nothing. Heartily farewell. And now, Laertes, what's the news with you? You told us of some suit. What is it, Laertes?
My dread lord, your leave and favor to return to France, from whence, though willingly, I came to Denmark to show my duty in your coronation, yet now I must confess that, duty done, my thoughts and wishes bend again toward France, and bow them to your gracious leave and pardon.
Have you your father's leave? What says Polonius?
Hath, my lord, wrung from me my slow leave by laboursome petition, and at last, upon his will, I sealed my hard consent. I do beseech you, give him leave to go.
Take thy fair hour, Laertes. Time be thine, and thy best graces spended at thy will. And now, my cousin Hamlet, and my son.
More than kin and less than kind.
How is it that the clouds still hang on you?
Not so, my lord. I am too much in the sun.
Good Hamlet, cast thy nighted color off, and let thine eye look like a friend on Denmark. Do not forever with veiled lids seek for thy noble father in the dust, for thou knowest 'tis common. All that lives must die, passing from nature into eternity.
Aye, madam, it is common.
If it be, why seems it so particular with thee?
Seems, madam, nay, it is. I know not, seems. 'Tis not alone my inky cloak, good mother, nor customary suits of solemn black, nor windy suspiration of forced breath. Nay, nor the fruitful river of the eye, nor the dejected behavior of the visage, along with all forms, moods, shows of grief that can denote me truly. These indeed seem, for they are actions that a man might play, but I have that within which passeth show, these but the suits and the trappings of woe.
'Tis sweet and commendable in your nature, Hamlet, to give these mourning duties to your father, but you must know your father lost a father, that father lost his, and the survivor bound in filial obligation for some term to do obsequious sorrow. But to persevere in obstinate condolement is a course of impious stubbornness. 'Tis unmanly grief, it shows a will incorrect to heaven.
This must be so. We pray you, throw to earth this unprevailing woe, and think of us as a father. For let the world take note, you are the most immediate to our throne, and with no less nobility of love than that which dearest father bears his son, do we impart towards you. For your intent in going back to school in Wittenberg, it is most retrograde to our desire, and we beseech you, bend you, to remain here, in the cheer and comfort of our eye, our chiefest courtier, cousin, and our son.
Let not thy mother lose her prayers, Hamlet. I pray thee, stay with us. Go not to Wittenberg.
I shall in all my best obey you, madam.
Why, 'tis a loving and a fair reply. Be as ourselves in Denmark. Madam, come.
Oh, but this too solid flesh would melt, thaw, and resolve itself into a dew, or that the everlasting had not fixed his canon against self-slaughter. Oh, God, how weary, stale, flat, and unprofitable seem to me all the uses of this world. Fie on it. Fie, it is an unweeded garden that grows to seed. Things rank and gross in nature possess it merely. That it should come to this but 2 months dead. Nay, not so much, not to. So excellent a king that was to this Hyperion to a satyr, so loving to my mother that he might not beteem the winds of heaven visit her face too roughly. Oh, heaven and earth, must I remember? Why, she would hang on him as if increase of appetite had grown by what it fed on. And yet within a month, let me not think on it. Frailty, thy name is woman. A little month, or ere those shoes were old, with which she followed my poor father's body, like Niobe, all tears. Why, she, even she, oh God, a beast that wants discourse of reason would have mourned longer. Married with my uncle, my father's brother, no more like my father than I to Hercules. Within a month, yet salt of most unrighteous tears had left the flushing in her galled eyes, she married. Oh, wicked speed to post with such dexterity to incestuous sheets. It is not, nor it cannot come to good. But break my heart, for I must hold my tongue.
Hail to your lordship.
I am glad to see you well. Horatio, or I do forget myself.
The same, my lord, and your poor servant ever.
Sir, my good friend, I'll change that name with you. But what make you from Wittenberg, Horatio? Marcellus?
My good lord.
I am very glad to see you. Good even, sir. But what in faith make you from Wittenberg?
Truant disposition, good my lord.
I would not hear your enemy say so, nor shall you do my ear that violence to make it truster of your own report against yourself. I know you're no truant. But what is your affair in Elsinore? We'll teach you to drink deep ere you depart.
My lord, I came to see your father's funeral.
I prithee do not mock me, fellow student. I believe it was to see my mother's wedding.
Indeed, my lord, it followed hard upon.
Thrift, Horatio, the funeral baked meats did coldly furnish forth the marriage tables. Would I had met my dearest foe in heaven, or ever I had seen that day, Horatio, my father. Methinks I see my father.
Where?
In my mind's eye, Horatio.
I saw him once. He was a goodly king.
He was a man, take him for all in all. I shall not look upon his like again.
My lord, I think I saw him yesternight.
Saw? Who?
My lord, the king your father.
The king my father!
Season your admiration for a while with an attent ear, so that I may deliver upon the witness of these gentlemen this marvel to you.
For God's love, let me hear.
2 nights together had these gentlemen, Marcellus and Bernardo, on their watch in the dead waste and middle of the night, been thus encountered. A figure like your father, armed to point exactly, cap a pie, appears before them, and with solemn march goes slowly and stately by. Thrice he walked past their oppressed and fear-surprised eyes within his truncheon's length, whilst they, distilled almost to jelly by the act of fear, stand dumb and speak not to him. This, in dreadful secrecy, to me in part they did, and I with them the 3rd night kept the watch, where, as they had delivered, both in time, form of the thing, each word made good and true. The spirit comes. I knew your father, these hands were not more like.
But where was this?
My lord, upon the platform where we watch.
Did you not speak to it?
I did, my lord, but answer made it none. Yet once methought it lifted up its head and did address itself to motion as if it would speak. But even then the morning cock crew loud, and it shrank away in haste and vanished from our sight.
'Tis very strange.
By my life, my honored lord, 'tis true. And we did think it writ down in our honor to let you know of it.
Indeed. Indeed, but this troubles me. Hold you the watch tonight?
We do, my lord.
Armed, say you?
Armed, my lord.
What, looked ye frowningly?
A countenance more in sorrow than in anger.
Pale or red?
Nay, very pale.
And fixed his eyes upon you?
Most constantly.
I would I had been there.
It would have much amazed you.
Very like. Very like. Stayed it long?
Well, one with moderate haste might tell 100.
Longer.
Not when I saw it.
I will watch tonight. Perchance 'twill walk again.
I warrant it will.
This spirit assume the form of my noble father. I'll speak to it, though hell itself should gape and bid me hold my peace. Upon the platform, 'twixt 11 and 12, I'll visit you.
Our duty to your honor.
Your love's is mine to you. Farewell. My father's spirit in arms. All is not well. I doubt some foul play. Would the night were come. Till then, sit still. My soul, foul deeds will rise, though all the earth shall o'erwhelm them to men's eyes.
my necessaries are embarked. Farewell. And, sister, as the winds give benefit and convey his assistant, do not sleep, but let me hear from you.
Do you doubt that?
For Hamlet and the trifling of his favor, hold it a fashion and a toy in blood, a violet in the youth of primy nature. Forward, not permanent. Sweet, not lasting. The perfume and suppliance of a minute, no more.
No more but so.
Think it no more. For nature, crescent, does not grow alone in thews and bulk, but as this temple waxes, the inward service of the mind and soul grows wide withal. Perhaps he loves you now, and now no soil nor caudle doth besmirch the virtue of his will.
But you must fear. His greatness weight, his will is not his own, for he himself is subject to his birth. He may not, as unvalued persons do, carve for himself. For on his choice depends the safety and the health of this whole state, and therefore must his choice be circumscribed unto the voice and yielding of that body whereof he is the head. Then, if he says he loves you, it fits your wisdom so far to believe it, as he in his particular act and place may give his say indeed, which is no further than the main voice of Denmark goes withal. Then, why what loss your honor may sustain, if with too credent ear you list his songs, or lose your heart, or your chaste treasure open to his unmastered importunity? Fear it, Ophelia. Fear it, my dear sister. And keep you in the rear of your affection, out of the shot and danger of desire. The chariot's maid is prodigal enough if she unmask her beauty to the moon. Virtue itself speaks not calumnious strokes. The canker galls the infants of the spring too oft before their buttons be disclosed. And in the morn and liquid dew of youth, contagious blastments are most imminent. Be wary then, best safety lies in fear. Youth to itself rebels, though none else near.
I shall the effect of this good lesson keep as watchman to my heart. But good my brother, do not as some ungracious pastors do, show me the steep and thorny ways to heaven wells. A puffed and reckless libertine himself the primrose path of dalliance treads, and recks not his own reed.
Oh, fear me not. I stay too long. But here my father comes. A double blessing is a double grace. You two occasion smiles upon a second leave.
Here, ladies, aboard, aboard for shame. The wind sits in the shoulder of your sail, and you are stayed for there, my blessing with thee. And these few precepts in thy memory, look thou character. Give thy thoughts no tongue, nor any unproportioned thought his act. Be thou familiar, but by no means vulgar. Those friends thou hast, and their adoption tried, grapple them unto thy soul with hoops of steel. Oh, but do not dull thy palm with each new-hatched, unfledged comrade. Beware of entrance to a quarrel, but being in, bear it that the opposed may beware of thee. Give every man thy ear, but few thy voice. Take each man's censor, but reserve thy judgment. Costly thy habit is thy purse can buy, but not expressed in fancy. Rich, not gaudy, for the apparel oft proclaims the man, and they in France of the best rank and station are of a most select and generous chief, and that neither a borrower nor a lender be. For loan oft loses both itself and friend, and borrowing dulls the edge of husbandry. This above all, to thine own self be true, and it must follow, as the night the day, thou canst not then be false to any man. Farewell, my blessing season this in thee.
Most humbly do I take my leave, my lord.
The time invests you. Go, your servants tend.
Farewell, Ophelia, and remember well what I have said to you.
'Tis in my memory locked, and yourself shall keep the key of it.
Farewell.
What is it, Ophelia, he hath said to you?
So please you, something touching the Lord Hamlet.
Mary, well bethought. 'Tis told me he hath very oft of late given private time to you, and you yourself of your audience have been most free and bounteous. If it be so, so 'tis put to me, and that in the way of caution, I must tell you, you do not understand yourself so clearly as it behooves my daughter and your honor. What is between you? Give me up the truth.
He hath, my lord, of late made many tenders of his affection to me.
Affection? You speak like a green girl unsifted in such perilous circumstances. Do you believe his tenders, as you call them?
I do not know, my lord, what I should think.
Mary, I will teach you. Think yourself a baby that you have ta'en these tenders for true pay, which are not sterling. Tender yourself more dearly, or not to crack the wind of the poor phrase, running it thus. You'll tender me a fool.
My lord, he hath importuned me with love in honorable fashion.
Aye, fashion, you may call it. Go to.
And hath given countenance to his speech, my lord, with almost all the holy vows of heaven.
Aye, spring is to catch woodcocks. I do know when the blood burns, how prodigal the soul lends the tongue vows. These blazes, daughter, giving more light than heat, extinct in both in the promise, even as it is a-making, you must not take for fire. From this time be something scanter of your maiden presence. Set your entreatment at a higher rate than a command to Paul. For the Lord Hamlet, believe in him so much that he is young, and with a larger tether may he walk than may be given you. In few, Ophelia, do not believe his vows, for they are brokers, not of that dye which their investment shows, but mere implorators of unholy suits, breathing like sanctified and pious bawds, the better to beguile. This is for all. I would not from this time forth have you so slander any moment leisure as to give words or talk to the Lord Hamlet. Look to it, I charge you, come your ways.
I shall obey, my lord.
The air bites shrewdly. It is very cold.
It is a nipping and eager air.
What hour now?
I think it lacks of 12.
No, it is struck.
Indeed, I heard it not. It then nears the season wherein the spirit found its wont to walk. Look, my lord, it comes.
Angels and ministers of grace, defend us. Be thou spirit of health or goblin damned. Bring with the airs from heaven or blast from hell. Be thy intents wicked or charitable. Thou comest in such a questionable shape that I will speak to thee. I'll call thee Hamlet, King, Father, Royal Dane. Oh, answer me. Let me not burst in ignorance, but say why thy canonized bones, hearsed in death, have burst their cerements. Why the sepulchre wherein we saw thee quietly inurned hath oped his ponderous and marble jaws to cast thee up again. What may this mean? That thou, dead, coarse, incomplete steel, revisits thus the glimpses of the moon, making nights hideous. We, fools of nature, so horridly to shake our disposition with thoughts beyond the reaches of our mortal souls. Say, why is this? Wherefore? What should we do?
Beckons to you to go away with it, as if it's some impartment did desire to you alone.
Look with what courteous action waves you to a more removed ground, but do not go with it.
Nay, by no means.
It will not speak, then I will follow it.
Do not, my lord.
Why? What should be the fear? I do not set my life at a pin's fee. And as for my soul, what can it do to that, being a thing immortal as itself? It waves me forth again, I'll follow it.
What if it tempt you toward the flood, my lord? Or toward the summit of a cliff that beetles o'er its base into the sea?
It waves me forth again. Go on, I'll follow thee.
You shall not go, my lord.
Hold off your hands.
Be ruled, my lord, you shall not go.
My fate cries out and makes each petty artery in this body as hardy as the Nemean lion's nerve. Still am I cold. I say away. Go on, I'll follow thee.
He waxes desperate with imagination.
Let's follow. 'Tis not fit us to obey him.
Make haste after. To what issue will this come?
Something is rotten in the state of Denmark.
Heaven will direct it.
Nay, let's follow him.
Where wilt thou lead me? Speak, I'll go no further.
Mark me.
I will.
My hour is almost come, when I to sulphurous and tormenting flames must render up myself.
Alas, poor ghost.
Pity me not, but lend thy serious hearing to what I shall unfold.
Speak, I am bound to hear.
So art thou to revenge when thou shalt hear.
What?
I am thy father's spirit, doomed for a certain term to walk the night, for the day confined to fast and fires, till the foul crimes done in my days of nature are burnt and purged away. But that I am forbid to tell the secrets of my prison house. I could a tale unfold, whose lightest word would harrow up thy soul, freeze thy young blood, make thy two eyes, like stars, start from their spheres, thy knotted and combined locks to part, and each particular hair to stand on end, like quills upon the fearful porcupine. But this eternal blazon must not be to ears of flesh and blood. List, list, oh list, if thou didst ever thy dear father love,
Oh, God.
revenge is foul and most unnatural murder.
Murder!
Murder most foul, as in the best it is, but this most foul, strange and unnatural.
Haste me to know it, so that I, with wings as swift as meditation or thoughts of love, may sweep to my revenge.
I find thee apt. Hinderer shouldst thou be than the fat weed that rots itself in ease on Leith wharf. Wouldst thou not stir in this? Now, Hamlet, hear. 'Tis given out that, sleeping within my orchard, a serpent stung me. So the whole ear of Denmark is by a forged process of my death, rankly abused. But know, thou noble youth, the serpent that did sting thy father's life now wears his crown.
Oh, my prophetic soul, my uncle!
I, that incestuous, that adulterate beast, with witchcraft of his wits, with traitorous gifts, oh wicked witting gifts, that have the power so to seduce, one to a shameful lust, the will of my most seeming virtuous queen. Oh, Hamlet, what a falling off was there! But virtue, as it never will be moved, through lewdness court it in a shape of heaven, so lust those who radiant angel linked will sate itself in a celestial bed and prey on garbage. But soft, methinks I scent the morning air. Brief let me be, sleeping within my orchard, my custom always of the afternoon, upon my secure hour thy uncle stole. With juice of cursed Ebna in a vial, and in the porches of my ears did pour the leprous distilment, whose effect holds such an enmity. With blood of man it courses through, swift as quicksilver, through the natural gates and alleys of my body. Thus was I, sleeping by a brother's hand, of life, of crown, of queen at once dispatched, unhoused, unhonored, disappointed, no reckoning made, but sent to my account, with all my imperfections on my head. But howsoever thou pursuest this act, take not thy mind, nor let thy soul contrive against thy mother aught. Leave her to heaven, and to those thorns that in her bosom lodge, to prick and sting her. Fare thee well at once. The glowworm shows the matins to be new, and gets to pale his ineffectual fire. Adieu, adieu, adieu. Remember me!
Oh, all you host of heaven. Oh, earth, what else shall I couple hell? Hold my heart, and you, my sinews, grow not instant old, but bear me stiffly up. Remember thee? I, poor ghost, whilst memory holds a seat in this distracted globe, remember thee! I, from the table of my memory, I'll wipe away all trivial fond records, all saws of books, all forms, all pressures past that youth and observation copied there, and thy command alone shall live within the base volume of my brain, unmixed with baser matter. Yes, by heaven, O most pernicious woman, villain, smiling, damned villain! My tables, meet as it is, I set it down that one may smile and be a villain. At least I'm sure it may be such in Denmark. So, uncle, there you are. Now to my word. It is adieu, adieu, remember me? I have sworn it.
My lord! My lord!
Lord Hamlet!
Heaven secure him.
So be it.
Hello, my lord.
Hello, come, bird, come.
How is my noble lord?
What news, my lord?
Oh, wonderful.
Good, my lord, tell it.
No, you will reveal it.
Not I, my lord, by heaven.
Nor I, my lord.
Say then, but you'll be secret.
I, by heaven, my lord.
There's ne'er a villain dwelling in all of Denmark, but he's an errant knave.
There needs no ghost, my lord, come from the grave to tell us this.
Why, right. You're in the right. And so, without any more circumstance at all, I hold it fit that we shake hands and part. You, as your business and desire may point you, as all men hath business and desire, such as it is, and for my own poor part, look you, I'll go pray.
These are but wild and whirling words, my lord.
I'm sorry they offend you. Faith, heartily.
There's no offense in it.
Yes, by St. Patrick, but there is, Horatio, and much offense too. Touching this vision here, it is an honest ghost, that let me tell you. For your desire to know what's between us, overmaster it as you may. Now, good friends, as you are friends, soldiers and scholars, give me one poor request.
What is't, my lord? We will.
Never make known what you've seen tonight.
My lord, we will not.
Nay, but swear it.
In faith, my lord, not I.
Nor I, my lord, in faith.
On my sword.
Propose the oath.
Never to speak of this that you have seen. Swear by my sword.
Swear.
Why say'st thou so? I thought they're a true penny. Come on, you hear this fellow in the cellarage. Consent to swear. Never to speak of this that you have seen. Swear by my sword.
Swear.
It'll be quick. Then we'll shift our ground. Come hither, gentlemen. Lay your hands upon my sword. Never to speak of this that you have seen. Swear.
Swear by his sword.
Well said, old mole. Canst work in the earth so fast. A worthy piner. Once more remove, good friends.
Day and night, this is wondrous strange.
And therefore, as a stranger, give it welcome. There are more things in heaven and earth, Horatio, than are dreamt of in your philosophy. But come, here as before, never so help you mercy, how strange or odd soe'er I bear myself, as I perchance hereafter shall think meet to put an antic disposition on, that you at such times seeing me never shall, with arms encumbered thus, or this head shake, or by pronouncing of some doubtful phrase as well, well, we know, or we could, and if we would, or if we list to speak, or there be, and if they might, or such ambiguous giving out to note that you know aught of me. This not to do so, grace and mercy at your most needs help you swear.
Swear!
Rest, perturbed spirit! So, gentlemen, with all my love I do commend me to you. What so poor a man as Hamlet is may do to express his love and friendling to you, God willing, shall not lack. Let us go in together, and still, your fingers on your lips, I pray you. The time is out of joint. Cursed spite that ever I was born to set it right. Nay, come, let's go together.
Oh, give him this money and these notes, Ronaldo.
I will, my lord.
You shall do marvelous wisely, good Ronaldo, before you visit him, to inquire of his behavior.
My lord, I did intend it.
Very well said, very well said. Inquire me first what danskers are in Paris, and how and who and what means and where they keep, at what company, at what expense, and finding by this encompassment and drift of question that they do know my son, come you more nearer than your particular demand will touch it. Take you as 'twere some distant knowledge of him, as thus. I know his father and his friends, and in part him. Do you mark this, good Ronaldo?
Aye, very well, my lord.
And in part him, but you may say it not well, but if it be he, I mean, he's a very wild, addicted so-and-so, and there put on him what forgeries you please. Mary, none so rank as may dishonor him, take heed of that. But sir, such wanton, wild, and usual steps as our companions noted and most known to youth and liberty.
As gaming, my lord.
Aye, or drinking, fencing, swearing, quarreling, drabbing, you may go so far.
But, my lord, thou would dishonor him.
Faith, yours, you may season it in the charge. You must not put another scandal on him, or that he is open to incontinency. That's not my meaning. Breathe his faults so quaintly that they may seem the taints of liberty, the flash and outbreak of a fiery mind, a savageness in unreclaimed blood of general assault.
But, my good lord.
Wherefore should you do this?
Aye, my lord, I would know that.
Very, sir, here's my drift, and I believe 'tis a fetch of wit, you laying these slight sullies on my son, as 'twere a thing a little soiled in the working, your partner in converse, mark you, him you would sound, having ever seen in the predominant crimes the youth you breathe of guilty. On be assured he closes with you in this consequence, as good sir, or friend, or gentleman, according to the phrase and tradition of man and country.
Aye, very good, my lord.
And then, sir, does he this? He does? What was I about to say? By the mass, I was about to say something. Where did I leave?
At close and consequence. At a friend or so, or a gentleman.
I closes in the consequence. Aye, Mary, he closes thus. I know the gentleman. I saw him yesterday, or then, or the other day, and as you say, there was a gaming, there, or took into rounds. There was a falling out at tennis. I saw him enter such a house of sale, village, a brothel. So you know, Your bait of falsehood takes this carp of truth, and thus do we of wisdom and of reach, with windlasses and essays of bias, by indirection find direction out. So by my formal lecture and advice, shall you, my son, you have me, have you not?
My lord, I have.
God be with you, fare you well.
Good, my lord.
Observe his inclination in yourself.
I shall, my lord.
Let him ply his music.
Well, my lord.
Farewell. How now, Ophelia? What's the matter?
Oh, my lord, I've been so affrighted.
With what, in the name of God?
My lord, as I was sewing in my closet, Lord Hamlet with his doublet all unbraced, no hat upon his head, his stockings fouled, ungartered, and down drived to his ankle, pale as his shirt, his knees knocking together, and with a look so piteous in purport as if he had been loosed out of hell to speak of horrors, he comes before me.
Mad for thy love?
My lord, I do not know, but truly I do fear it.
What said he?
He took me by the wrist and held me hard. Then goes he to the length of all his arm, and with his other hand thus o'er his brow, he falls to such a perusal of my face as he would draw it. Long stayed he so. At last a little shaking of mine arm, and thrice his head thus waving up and down, he raised a sigh so piteous and profound as it did seem to shatter all his bulk and end his being. That done, he lets me go, and with his head thus o'er his shoulder turned, he seemed to find his way without his eyes, for out of doors he went without their helps, and to the last bended their light on me.
Come with me, we will go seek the king. This is the very ecstasy of love, whose violent property fordoes itself and leads the will to desperate undertakings, as oft as any passion under heaven that does afflict our natures. I am sorry, what, have you given him any hard words of late?
No, my good lord, but as you did command, I did repel his letters and denied his access to me.
That hath made him mad. I am sorry that with better judgment I had not courted him. I feared he did but trifle and meant to rack thee, but beshrew my jealousy. By heaven, it is as proper to our age to cast our opinions beyond ourselves, as it is for the younger sort to lack discretion. Come, we will go seek the king. This must be known, which, being hid, might move more grief to hide than hate to utter love.
Welcome, dear Rosencrantz and Guildenstern. Moreover, that we much did long to see you, the need we have to use you did provoke our hasty sending. Something have you heard of Hamlet's transformation? I entreat you both, that being of so young days brought up with him, and sit so neighbored to his youth and behavior, that you vouchsafe your rest here in our court some little time, so by your companies to draw him unto pleasures, and to gather so much as from occasion you may glean, whether aught to us unknown afflicts him thus, that open lies within our remedy.
Good gentlemen, he hath talked much of you, and sure I am that no two men there are living to whom he more adheres. If it will please you to show us so much gentry and goodwill as to extend your time with us a while for the supply and profit of our hope, your visitation shall receive such thanks as fits a king's remembrance.
Both your majesties might, by the sovereign power you have of us, put your dread pleasures more into command than to entreaty.
But we both obey, and here give up ourselves in the full bent to lay our service freely at your feet, to be commanded.
Thanks, Rosencrantz and gentle Guildenstern.
Thanks, Guildenstern and gentle Rosencrantz. And I do beseech you instantly to visit my too much changed son.
Heavens make our presence and our practices pleasant and helpful to him.
Aye, amen.
The ambassador from Norway, my good lord, is joyfully returned.
Thou still hast been the father of good news.
Have I, my lord? I assure my good liege, I hold my duty as I hold my soul, both to my God and to my gracious king. And I do think, or else this brain of mine hath not so betrayal of policy as it hath used to do, that I have found the very cause of Hamlet's lunacy.
Oh, speak of that. That do I long to hear.
Give first admittance to the ambassador. My news shall be the fruit to that great feast.
Thyself do grace to him, and bring him in. He tells me, my dear Gertrude, he hath found the head and source of all your son's distemper.
I doubt it is no other but the main, his father's death and our over-hasty marriage.
Well, we shall sift him. Welcome, my good friend. Cornelius, what from our brother, Norway?
Most fair return of greetings and desires. Upon our first, he sent out to suppress his nephew's levies, which to him appeared to be a preparation against the Poles. But better looked into, he truly found it was against your highness, whereat grieved, so that his sickness, age, and impotence was falsely borne in hand, sends out arrest on Fortinbras, which he, in brief, obeys, receives rebuke from Norway, and makes vows with his uncle never more to give the assay of arms against your majesty. Whereon old Norway, overcome with joy, gives him 70,000 crowns in annual fee, and his commission to employ these soldiers, so levied as before, against the Poles, with an entreaty herein further show. That it might please you to give quiet pass through your dominions for this enterprise, on such regards of safety and allowance as therein are set down.
It likes us well, and at our more considered time we'll read, answer, and think upon this business. Meantime, we thank you for your well-took labor. Go to your rest, at night we'll feast together. Most welcome home.
This business is well ended. My liege and madam, to expostulate what majesty should be, what duty is, why day is day, night night, and time time, or nothing but waste, night day, and time. Therefore, since brevity is the soul of wit and tediousness, the limbs and outward flourishes, I will be brief. Your noble son is mad. Mad call I it, for to define true madness would be nothing else but mad. But let that go.
More matter with less art.
Mad, let us grant it then. And now remains to find the cause of this effect, or rather say, the cause of this defect. Perpend. I have a daughter, have while she is mine, who in her duty and obedience, mark you, hath given me this. Gather and surmise. Who the celestial and my soul's idol, the most beautified Ophelia. Oh, that's an ill phrase, a vile phrase. Beautified is a vile phrase, but you shall hear. Thus, to her excellent white bosom, these, etc. Good madam, stay a while. I will be faithful. Doubt thou the stars are fire, doubt that the sun doth move, doubt truth to be a liar, but never doubt I love. O dear Ophelia, I am ill at these numbers. I have not art to reckon my groans, but that I love thee best, O most best, adieu. Thine evermore, dear lady, whilst this machine is to him. Hamlet, this in obedience hath my daughter shown me, and more above hath his solicitings, as they fell out by time, by means, and by place, all given to mine ear.
But how hath she received his love?
What do you think of me?
As of a man faithful and honorable.
I would fain prove so, but what might you think when I had seen this hot love on the wing, and played the desk or table book, or looked upon this love with idle sight? No, I went round to work, and my young mistress thus I did bespeak. Hamlet is a prince. Out of thy star this must not be. And then I precepts gave her, to lock herself from his resort, admit no messengers, receive no tokens. And then she, this being done, she took the fruits of my advice, and he, repulse, a short tale to make, fell into a sadness, then into a fast, then into a watch, then into a weakness, then into a lightness, and by this token in declension into the madness which he now raves, and we all mourn for.
Do you think 'tis this?
It may be very like.
Hath there been such a time, I would fain know that, when I had positively said 'tis so, and it proved otherwise?
Not that I know.
Take this from this, if this be otherwise. If circumstances lead me, I will find where truth is hid, though it were hid indeed within the center.
How may we try it further?
You know, sometimes he walks 4 hours altogether here in the lobby.
So he does indeed.
At such a time, I'll loose my daughter unto him. Be you and I behind an arras then. Mark the encounter. If he love her not, and be not from his reason fallen thereon, then let me be no assistant for a state, but keep a farm and cotters.
We will try it.
But look, where sadly the poor wretch comes reading.
Away, both away, I do beseech you. I'll board him presently. Give me leave. How does my good Lord Hamlet?
Well, God a mercy.
Do you know me, my lord?
Excellent well. You are a fishmonger.
Not I, my lord.
Then I would you were so honest a man.
Honest, my lord?
Aye, sir. In this world, to be one man honest is to be one man taken out of 1,000.
That's very true, my lord.
For if the sun breed maggots in a dead dog, being a good kissing carrion. Have you a daughter?
I have, my lord.
Let her not walk in the sun. Conception is a blessing, but not as your daughter may conceive. Friend, look to it.
How say you by that? Still on my daughter, yet he knew me not at first. He said I was a fishmonger. Oh, he's far gone, and truly in my youth I suffered much extremity for love. Very near this. I'll speak to him again. What do you read, my lord?
Words, words, words.
What is the matter, my lord?
Between who?
I mean the matter you read, my lord.
Slander, sir. For the satirical rogue says here that old men have gray beards, that their faces are wrinkled, their eyes purging thick amber and plum tree gum, and that they have a plentiful lack of wit, together with most weak hams. All of which, sir, though I powerfully and potently believe, yet I hold it not honesty to have thus set it down, for you yourself, sir, should be as old as I am, if, like a crab, you could go backward.
Though this be madness, yet there's method in it. Would you walk out of the air, my lord?
Into my grave?
Indeed, that's out of the air. How pregnant sometimes his replies are. A happiness that madness often hitch on, which reason and sanity could not be so prosperously delivered of. I'll leave him now, and suddenly contrive the means of meeting between him and my daughter. My honorable lord, I most humbly take my leave of you.
You cannot, sir, take from me anything that I will more willingly part with all. Except my life, except my life, except my life.
Farewell.
These tedious old fools.
You go to seek the Lord Hamlet. There he is.
God save you, sir.
My honored lord.
My most dear lord.
My excellent good friends. How is it with you, Guildenstern, Rosencrantz, good lads? How do you both?
As the indifferent children of the earth.
Happy in that we are not over happy. On Fortune's cap, We are not the very button.
Nor the soles of her shoes.
Neither, my lord.
Then you live somewhere about her waist, or in the middle of her favors?
Faith, her privates we.
In the most secret parts of fortune. Oh, most true, she is a strumpet. But what's the news?
None, my lord, but that the world's grown honest.
Then is doomsday near? But your news is not true. Let me question more specifically. What have you, my good friends, deserved at the hands of fortune that she sends you to prison hither?
Prison, my lord?
Denmark's a prison.
Then is the world one?
A goodly one, in which there are many confines, wards, and dungeons, Denmark being one of the worst.
We think not so, my lord.
Why then 'tis none to you, for there's nothing either good or bad, but thinking makes it so. To me it is a prison.
Why, then your ambition makes it one. 'Tis too narrow for your mind.
Oh, God, I could be bound within the confines of a nutshell and count myself a king of infinite space, were it not that I have bad dreams.
Which dreams, indeed, are ambition. For the very substance of the ambitious is merely the shadow of a dream.
Dream itself is but a shadow.
Truly, and I hold ambition of so airy and light a quality that it is but a shadow's shadow.
Then are our beggars' bodies and our monarchs and outstretched heroes the beggars' shadows. But shall we to the court? For by my reason I cannot fay.
We'll wait upon you.
Oh, no such matter. I will not sort you with the rest of my servants, for, to speak like an honest man, I am most dreadfully attended. But in the beaten way of friendship, what make you at Elsinore?
To visit you, my lord, no other occasion.
Better than I am even poor in thanks, but I thank you. Were you not sent for? Is it your own inclining? Is it a free visitation? Deal justly with me. Speak.
What shall we say, my lord?
Why, anything but to the purpose. You were sent for. There is a kind of confession in your looks that your modesties have not skill enough to color over. I know the good king and queen have sent for you.
To what end, my lord?
That you must teach me, but let me conjure you, be even and direct with me, whether you were sent for or no.
What say you?
Nay, then I have an eye of you. If you love me, hold not off.
My lord, we were sent for.
I will tell you why. So shall my anticipation prohibit your discovery, and your discretion to the king and queen moult no feather. I have of late, but wherefore I know not, lost all my mirth, forgone all custom of exercise, and indeed it goes so heavily with my disposition that this goodly frame the earth seems to me a sterile promontory. This most excellent canopy the air, look you, this brave o'erhanging firmament, this majestic roof fretted with golden fire, why, to me, it is no more than a foul and pestilent congregation of vapors. What a piece of work is man! How noble in reason, how infinite in faculty, in form and moving, how express and admirable. In action, how like an angel. In apprehension, how like a god. The beauty of the world, the paragon of animals. And yet, to me, what is this quintessence of dust? Man delights not me. No, nor woman neither, though by your smiling you seem to say so.
My lord, there was no such stuff in my thoughts.
Why did you laugh then when I said man delights not me?
To think, my lord, if you delight not in man, what Lenten entertainment the players shall receive from you. We quoted them on the way, and hither are they coming to offer you service.
What players are they?
Even those who are wont to take such delight in the tragedians of the city.
there are the players.
Gentlemen, you are welcome to Elsinore. Most welcome, but my uncle father and aunt mother are deceived.
In what, my dear lord?
I am but mad north-northwest. When the wind is southerly, I know a hawk from a handsaw.
Will be with you, gentlemen.
Hark, Guildenstern, and you too, Rosencrantz. At each ear a hearer, that great baby you see there is not yet out of his swaddling clouds.
Haply, he's the second time come to them, for they say an old man is twice a child.
I do prophesy he comes to tell me of the players. You say right, sir, a Monday morning, 'twas so indeed.
My lord, I have news to tell you.
My lord, I have news to tell you. When Roscius was an actor in Rome.
The actors are come hither, my lord.
Buzz.
Upon mine honor.
Then came each actor on his ass.
The best actor in the world, either for tragedy, comedy, history, pastoral comical, historical pastoral, tragical historical, tragical comical historical pastoral, scene individual, or poem unlimited. Seneca cannot be too heavy, nor Plausius too light. For scenes of rich and liberty, these are the only men.
You are welcome, master. Welcome all. I'm glad to see thee well. Good, my lord. Will you see the players well bestowed? Use them very well, for they are the brief and chronicle of the time. You'd rather have a bad epitaph when you die than their ill report while you live.
My lord, I will use them according to their deserts.
God's bodykins, man, much better. Use every man according to his deserts, and who shall scape whipping? Use them according to your own honor and dignity. The less they deserve, the more merit is in your bounty. Take them in.
Come, sirs.
Follow him, friends. We'll hear a play tomorrow. Dost thou hear me, good friend? Can you play The Murder of Gonzago?
Aye, my lord.
Excellent. We'll have it tomorrow night. You could, for a means, study a speech of some 12 or 16 lines that I might set down and insert into it, could you not?
Aye, my lord.
Very well. Follow that lord, and look you mock him not. My good friends, I'll leave you till night. You are welcome to Elsinore.
Good, my lord.
Aye, God be with you. Now I am alone. About my brain. I have heard that guilty creatures sitting at a play have by the very cunning of the scene been so struck to the soul that presently they reveal their malefactions, for murder, though it has no tongue, will speak with most miraculous organ. I'll have these players play something like the murder of my father before mine uncle. I will observe him, I'll tent him to the quick. If he but blench, I know my course. Spirit that I have seen may be the devil, and the devil has the power to assume a pleasing shape. And perhaps in my weakness and melancholy abuses me to damn me. I'll have cause more relative than this. The play's the thing wherein I'll catch the conscience of the king.
And can you by no drift of conference get from him why he puts on this confusion, greeting so harshly all his days of quiet with turbulent and dangerous lunacy?
He does confess he feels himself distracted, but from what cause he will by no means speak.
Nor do we find him for to be sounded, but with a crafty madness keeps aloof, when we would bring him to some confession of his true state.
He receive you well?
Most like a gentleman.
But with much forcing of his disposition.
Stingy of question, but of our demands most free in his reply.
Did you essay him to any pastime?
Madam, it so fell out that certain players we o'eraught on the way. Of these we told him, and there did seem in him a kind of joy to hear of it. They are here about the court, and, as I think, they have already ordered this knight to play before him.
Is most true, and he did beseech me to entreat your majesties to hear and see the matter.
With all my heart it doth much content me to hear him so inclined. Good gentlemen, give him a further edge, and drag his purpose into these delights.
We shall, my lord.
Sweet Gertrude, leave us too, for we have closely sent for Hamlet hither, that he, as 'twere by accident, may hear affront Ophelia. Her father and myself, lawful as spouse, will so bestow ourselves that, seeing unseen, we may of their encounter frankly judge, and gather by him as he is behaved, whether it be the affliction of his love, or no, that thus he suffers for.
I shall obey you. And for your part, Ophelia, I do wish that your good beauties be the happy cause of Hamlet's wildness. So shall I hope your virtues will bring him to his wonted way again. To both your honors.
Madam, I wish it may.
Ophelia, walk you here. Gracious, so please you, we will bestow ourselves. Read on this book that a show of such an exercise may color your loneliness. We are oft to blame in this. 'Tis too much proved that with devotion's visage and pious action, we do sugar o'er the devil himself.
Oh, 'tis too true. How smart at last this speech doth give my conscience. The harlot's cheek beautied with plastering art is not more ugly to the thing that helps it, is my deed to my most painted word. Oh, heavy burden.
I hear him coming. Let's withdraw, my lord.
To be or not to be? That is the question. Whether 'tis nobler in the mind to suffer the slings and arrows of an outrageous fortune, or to take arms against a sea of troubles and by opposing end them. To die, to sleep no more, and by sleep to say we end the heartache and the 1,000 natural shocks that flesh is heir to. 'Tis a consummation devoutly to be wished. To die, to sleep, perchance to dream. Aye, there's the rub, for in that sleep of death, what dreams may come when we have shuffled off our mortal coil must give us pause. That's what makes calamity of so long life. For who would bear the oppressor's wrong, the law's delay, the pangs of despised love, when he himself might his quietus make with a bare bodkin? Who would fardels bear to grunt and sweat under a weary life, but that the dread of something after death, the undiscovered country from whose bourne no traveler returns, puzzles the will and makes us rather bear those ills we have and fly to others that we know not of. Thus conscience does make cowards of us all. Thus the native hue of resolution is sicklied o'er with the pale cast of thought. Soft, fair Ophelia, nymph, in thy orisons be all my sins remembered.
Good my lord, how does your honor for this many a day?
I humbly thank you. Well.
My lord, I have remembrances of yours that I have longed long to redeliver. I pray you now receive them.
No, not I. I never gave you aught.
My honored lord, you know right well you did. And with them words of so sweet breath composed as made the things more rich. Their perfume lost, take these again, for to the noble mind, rich gifts wax poor when givers prove unkind. There, my lord.
Are you honest?
My lord?
Are you fair?
What means your lordship?
That if you be honest and fair, your honesty should admit no discourse to your beauty.
Could beauty, my lord, have better commerce than with honesty?
Aye, truly, for the power of beauty will sooner transform honesty from what it is to a bawd than can the force of honesty translate beauty to its likeness. This was sometime a paradox, but now the time gives it proof. I did love you once.
Indeed, my lord, you made me believe so.
You should not have believed me. I loved you not.
I was the more deceived.
Get thee to a nunnery. Why wouldst thou be a breeder of sinners? I am myself indifferent honest, but yet I could accuse me of such things that it were better my mother had not borne me. I'm very proud, revengeful, ambitious, with more offenses at my beck than I have thoughts to put them in, imagination to give them shape, or time to act them in. What should such fellows as I do, crawling between heaven and earth? We are errant knaves, all. Believe none of us. Go thy ways to a nunnery. Where's your father?
At home, my lord.
Why then, let the doors be shut upon him, that he may play the fool nowhere but in his own house. Farewell!
Oh, help him, you sweet heavens.
Thou dost marry. I'll give thee this plague for thy dowry. Be thou as chaste as ice, as pure as snow. Thou shalt not escape calumny. Get thee to a nunnery. Go. Farewell. Or thou wilt needs marry a fool. For wise men know well enough what monsters you make of them. To a nunnery go, and quickly too. Farewell.
Oh, heavenly powers, restore him.
I have heard of your paintings too well enough. God hath given you one face, and you make yourselves another. You jig, you amble, you lisp, and nickname God's creatures, and make your wantonness your ignorance. Oh, go to. No more on it. It hath made me mad. I say we will have no more marriages. Those that are married already, all but one, shall live, the rest shall keep as they are. To a nunnery, go!
Oh, what a noble mind is here o'erthrown. The courtiers, soldiers, scholars, eye, tongue, sword. The expectancy and rose of the fair state, the glass of fashion and the mold of form, the observed of all observers, quite down. And I of ladies most deject and wretched that sucked the honey of his musicked vows, now see that most noble and sovereign reason like sweet bells jangled out of time and harsh. That unmatched form and feature of blown youth, blasted with ecstasy. Oh, woe is me to have seen what I have seen. See what I see.
Love, his affections do not that way tend, nor what he spake, though it lacked form a little, was not like madness. There's something in his soul o'er which his melancholy sits on brood, and I do doubt the hatch in the disclose will be some danger, which for to prevent I have in quick determination thus set it down. He shall with speed to England for the demand of our neglected tribute. Haply the seas and countries different with variable objects shall expel this something settled matter from his heart, whereon his brain still beating puts him thus from fashion of himself. What think you on't?
It shall do well, but yet I do think the origin and commencement of his grief sprung from neglected love. How now, Ophelia? You need not tell us what the Lord Hamlet said. We heard it all. My lord, do as you please, but if you hold it fit, after the play, let his queen mother, all alone, entreat him to show his grief. Let her be round with him, and I'll be placed, so please you, within the ear of all their conference. If she find him not, to England send him, or confine him where your wisdom best shall think.
It shall be so. Madness in great ones must not unwatched go.
Speak the speech, I pray you, as I pronounced it to you, trippingly on the tongue. Or if you do mouth it, as many of your players do, I had as lief the town crier spoke my lines. Nor do not saw the air with your hand thus, but use all gently. For in the torrent and tempest and, as I may say, whirlwind of passion, we must acquire and beget a kind of temperance that may give it smoothness. It offends me to the soul to hear a robustious, periwig-pated fellow tear a passion to rags, aye, to very tatters, to split the ears of the groundlings, who, for the most part, are capable of nothing but inexplicable dumb shows and noise. It out-Herods Herod. I pray you avoid it.
I warrant, your honor.
Be not too tame, neither, but let your discretion be your tutor. Suit the action to the word to the action, with this special command that you o'erstep not the modesty of nature.
I hope we have reformed that indifferently with us, sir.
Oh, reform it altogether. Go make you ready. What ho, Horatio!
Here, sweet lord, at your service.
Horatio, thou art in as just a man as ere my conversation coped withal.
Oh, my dear lord.
Nay, do not think I flatter. Since my dear soul was mistress of her choice and could of men distinguish, her election has sealed thee for herself. For thou hast been one in suffering all who suffers nothing, a man whose fortune's buffets and rewards has ta'en at equal thanks. And blessed are those whose thoughts and blood are so well commingled that they are not a pipe for fortune's finger to sound what stop she please. Give me that man that is not passion's slave, and I will wear him in my heart's core, aye, in my heart of hearts, as I do thee. Something too much on this. There is a play tonight before the king. One scene of it comes near the circumstance that I have told thee of my father's death. When thou seest that act afoot, observe my uncle, as mine eyes will rivet to his face, and afterwards we shall both our judgments join in censure of his seeming.
Well, my lord, if he steal aught the whilst this play is playing and escape detection, I shall pay the theft.
They are coming to the play. I must be idle. Get you a place.
How fares our cousin Hamlet?
Excellent, in faith. Of the chameleon's dish, I eat the air, promise crammed. You could not feed Capon so.
I have nothing with these words, Hamlet. They are not mine.
No, nor mine now. My lord, you played once in the university, say you?
That did I, my lord, and was accounted a good actor.
What did you enact?
I did enact Julius Caesar. I was killed in the Capitol. Brutus killed me.
Oh, a brute part of them to kill so capital a calf.
Come hither, Hamlet. Sit by me.
Nay, good mother, for here's metal more attractive.
How say you by that?
Lady, shall I lie in your lap?
No, my lord.
I mean, my head upon your lap.
Aye, my lord.
Did you think I meant country matters?
I think nothing, my lord.
There's a fair thought to lie between maids' legs.
What is, my lord?
Nothing.
You are merry, my lord.
Who? I?
I, my lord.
Oh, God, you're only jig maker. What should a man do but be merry? Look you how cheerfully my mother looks, and my father died within 2 hours.
Nay, 'tis twice 2 months, my lord.
So long. Nay, then let the devil wear black, for I'll have a suit of sables. Heavens, 2 months ago, and not forgotten yet. And there's hope a great man's memory may outlive his life half a year. But, by Our Lady, he must build churches then, or else shall suffer, not thinking on with the hobby horse, whose epitaph is, for oh, the hobby horse is forgot. The players cannot keep counsel. They'll tell all.
You are not. I'll mark the play.
For us and for our tragedy, here stooping to your clemency, we beg your hearing patiently.
Is this the prologue or the posy of a ring?
'Tis brief, my lord.
As woman's love.
Full 30 times hath Phoebus cart gone round, Neptune salt washed and Telephorus ground. Since love our hearts and Hymen did our hands unite communal in most sacred bands.
So many journeys may the sun and moon make us again count over ere love be done. But woe is me, who are so sick of late, so far from cheer and from your former state, that I distrust you. And yet, though I distrust, this comfort you, my lord, it nothing must. For women fear too much, even as they love, and women's love and fear hold quantity, in neither ought or in extremity. Now, what my love is, hath made you know, and as my love is sized, my fear is so. Where love grows great, the littlest doubts are fear. Where little fears grow great, great love grows there.
Faith, I must leave thee, love, and shortly too. My operant powers their functions leave to do. And thou shalt live in this fair world behind, honored, beloved, and haply one of kind. For a husband shalt thou.
Oh, confound the rest! Such love must needs be treason in my breast. In second husband let me be accursed, none but the second, but who killed the first.
Wormwood, wormwood.
The instances that second marriage move are base respects of thrift, but none of love. A second time I kill my husband dead, when second husband kisses me in bed.
I do believe you think, but now you speak. What we did do determine oft we break. This world is not for I, nor 'tis not strange that even our loves should with our fortunes change. For 'tis the question left us yet to prove, whether love lead fortune or else fortune love. So think thou wilt no second husband wed, but die thy thought when thy first lord is dead.
Nor earth to me give food, nor heaven light. Sport and repose lock from me day and night. To desperation turn my trust and hope. An anchor's sheer in prison be my scope. Each opposite that blanks the face of joy, meet what I would have well, and it destroy. Both here and hence pursue me lasting strife, if, once a widow, ever I be wife.
She should break it now.
'Tis deeply sworn. Speech, leave me here a while. My spirits grow dull, and fain I would beguile the tedious day with sleep.
Sleep rock thy brain, and never come a chance between us twain.
Madam, how like you this play?
Lady doth protest
too much, methinks.
Oh, but she'll keep her word.
Have you heard the argument? Is there no offense in it?
Oh, no, they do but jest. Poison in jest. No offense in the world.
What do you call the play?
The Mousetrap. How? Tropically. It's the story of a murder done in Italy. Gonzago, the Duke's name, Baptista, his wife. 'Tis a knavish piece of work, but what of that? Your Majesty, and those of us who have free souls, it touches us not. Let the gala jade wince, our withers are unwrung. This is Lucianus, one nephew to the king.
As good as a chorus, my lord.
I could interpret between you and your love if I could watch the puppets dallying.
You are keen, my lord, you are keen.
It cost you a groaning to take my edge off.
Still better, and worse.
So you mistake your husbands. Murderer, begin. Hawks, leave thy damnable faces, and begin. The croaking raven doth bellow for revenge.
Thoughts black, hands apt, drugs fit, and time agreeing. Confederate seizing, else no creature seeing. Thou mixture rank of midnight weeds collected, with Hecate's band thrice blasted, thrice infected. Thy natural magic and dire property, unwholesome life usurp immediately.
He poisoned him in the garden for his estate. His name's Gonzago. The story is extant and written in very choice Italian. You shall see anon how the murderer gets the love of Gonzago's wife.
King rises.
What, frighted with a false fire?
How fares, my lord?
Give all the play.
Give me some light.
Light! Light! Light!
Oh, good Horatio, I'll take the ghost's word for £1,000. Didst perceive?
Very well, my lord.
Upon the talk of the poisoning.
I did very well note him.
Know my course. Come, some music. The recorders, come. For if the king likes not the comedy, become he likes it not. Purdy. Come, some music.
Good, my lord. Vouchsafe me a word with you.
Sir, a whole history.
The king, sir.
Aye, sir, what of him?
In most marvelous distempered. The queen, in most great affliction of spirit, hath sent me to you.
You're welcome.
Nay, good my lord, this courtesy is not of the right breed. If it should please you to make me a wholesome answer, I will do your mother's commandment. If not, your pardon and my return shall be the end of my business.
Your behavior hath struck her into amazement and admiration.
Oh, wonderful son that can so astonish a mother. But is there no sequel at the heels of this mother's amazement? Impart.
She desires to speak with you in her closet ere you go to bed.
We shall obey, were she 10 times our mother. Have you any further trade with us?
My lord, you once did love me.
So do I still, by these pickers and stealers.
Good, my lord, what is your cause of distemper? You do surely bar the door upon your own liberty if you deny your griefs to your friend.
Sir, I lack advancement.
How can that be when you have the voice
of the king himself for your succession in Denmark?
Aye, sir, but, well, the grass grows. The proverb is something musty. Oh, the recorders. Let me see one. To withdraw with you. Why would you go about to recover the wind of me, as if you would drive me into a toil?
Oh, my lord, if my duty be too bold, my love is too unmannerly.
I do not well understand that. Will you play upon this pipe?
My lord, I cannot.
I pray you.
Believe me, I cannot.
I do beseech you.
I know no touch of it, my lord.
It is as easy as lying. Govern these vestiges with your fingers and thumbs. Give it breath with your mouth, and it will produce most eloquent music. Look you, these are the stops.
But these cannot I command to any utterance of harmony. I have not the skill.
Why, look you then how unworthy a thing you make of me. You would play upon me. You would seem to know my stops. You would pluck out the heart of my mystery. You would sound me from my lowest note to the top of my compass. Yet you cannot make this speak. It's blood. Do you think I am easier to be played upon than a pipe? Call me what instrument you will. Though you can fret me, you cannot play upon me. God bless you, sir.
Queen, my lord, would speak with you, and presently.
Do you see yonder cloud that's almost in the shape of a camel?
By the mass, it is like a camel indeed.
Methinks it is like a weasel.
It is backed like a weasel.
Or like a whale.
Very like a whale.
And I will come to my mother by and by.
I will say so.
By and by is easily said. Leave me, friends. It is now the very witching hour of night, when churchyards yawn and hell itself breathes out contagion to this very world. Now I could drink hot blood and do such bitter business as the day would quake to look on. Soft. Now to my mother. Heart, lose not thy nature. Let never the spirit of Nero enter this firm bosom. I will be cruel, not unnatural. I will speak daggers to her, but use none. Howsoever my soul in this be shent, to give its seal, never my soul consent.
I like him not, nor stands it safe with us to let his madness range. Therefore prepare you. I your commission will forthwith dispatch, and he to England along with you. The terms of our estate may not endure hazard so near as doth hourly grow out of his brows.
We will ourselves provide, most holy and religious fear it is, to keep those many, many bodies safe, that live and feed upon your majesty.
Single and peculiar life is bound with all the strength and armor of the mind to keep itself from noyance, but much more that spirit upon whose wheel depends and rests the lives of many. Possessive majesty dies not alone, but like a gulf doth draw what's near it with it. It is a massy wheel fixed on the summit of the highest mount, to whose huge spokes 10,000 lesser beings are morticed and adjoined, which, when it falls, each small annexment, petty consequence attends the boisterous ruin. Never alone did the king sigh, but with a general groan.
Arm you, I pray you, to this speedy voyage, for we will fetters put about the sphere which now goes too free-footed.
We will haste us.
My lord, he's going to his mother's closet. Behind the arras I'll convey myself, to hear the process. And as you said, and wisely was it said, 'tis most meet that some more audience than a mother, since nature makes them partial, should o'erhear the speech at vantage. Good night, my liege. I'll call upon you ere you go to bed. Fare you well.
Thanks, dear my lord. Oh, my offense is rank, it smells to heaven. It hath the primal eldest curse upon't, a brother's murder. Pray can I not, though inclination be as sharp as will, my stronger guilt defeats my strong intent. And, like a man to double business bound, I stand in pause where I should first begin and both neglect. What if this cursed hand were thicker than itself with brother's blood? Is there not rain enough in the sweet heavens to wash it white as snow? Whereto serves mercy but to confront the visage of offense? And what's in prayer but this twofold force, to be forestalled ere we come to fall, or pardoned being down? Then I look up, my fault is past. But, oh, what form of prayer can serve my turn? Forgive me my foul murder? That cannot be, for I am still possessed of those effects for which I did the murder, my crown, mine own ambition, and my queen. May one be pardoned and yet retain the offense? In the corrupted currents of this world, offence's gilded hand may shove by justice, and oft 'tis seen the wicked prize itself buys out the law. But 'tis not so above. There is no shuffling. There the action lies in his true nature, and we ourselves compelled even to the teeth and forehead of our faults to give in evidence. What then? What rests? Try what repentance can. What can it not? But what can it when one cannot repent? O wretched state! O bosom black as death! O limed soul that, struggling to be free, art more engaged! Help! Angels! Make essay. Thou, stubborn knees, and heart with strings of steel, be soft as sinew of the newborn babe. All may be well.
Now might I do it, Pat. Now he is praying. And now I'll do it. And so he goes to heaven, and so I am revenged! That would be scanned. A villain kills my father, and for that, I, his sole son, do the same villain send to heaven. But this is hire and salary, not revenge. He took my father grossly, full of bread, with his offenses broad blown, fresh as May. And how his audit stands, who knows, save heaven, but he is heavy with it. And am I then revenged to take him when he is in the purging of his soul, fit and seasoned for the passage? No. Up, sword, and know thou a more horrid hint, when he is drunk asleep, or in his rage, or in the incestuous pleasure of his bed, at gaming, swearing, or some other act that has no relish of salvation in it. Then take him so that his heels may kick at heaven, and that his soul may be as damned and black as hell, whereto it goes. My mother stays. This physic but prolongs thy sickly days.
My words fly up, my thoughts remain below. Words without thoughts never to heaven go.
He will come straight. Look you, lay home to him. Tell him his pranks have been too broad to bear with, and that your grace hath screened and stood between much heat in him. I'll silence me even here. Pray you, be round with him.
Mother! Mother!
Fear me not. I'll warrant you. Withdraw. I hear him coming.
Now, mother, what's the matter?
Hamlet, thou hast thy father much offended.
Mother, you have my father much offended.
Come, you answer with an idle tongue.
Go, you question with a wicked tongue.
Why, how now, Hamlet?
What's the matter now?
Have you forgotten me?
No, by the rood. You are the queen, your husband's brother's wife, and when it were not so, you are my mother.
Nathan, I'll set those two that can speak.
Nay, sit you down. You shall not go till I have set you up a glass that you may see the inmost part of you.
What wilt thou do? Thou wilt not murder me. Help! Help! Oh!
Whoa, help! How now? A rat? Dead. Or a ducat dead.
Oh, I'm slain. Oh,
what a rash and bloody deed is this.
A bloody deed, good mother. Almost as bad as kill a king and marry with his brother.
As kill a king?
Aye, lady, 'twas my word. Thou rash, intruding fool, I took thee for thy better. Leave wringing of your hands, and you, sit you down and let me wring your heart, if it be not brast and bulwark against proof and sense.
What have I done that thou darest wag thy tongue in noise so rude against me?
Such an act that blurs the grace of modesty, calls virtue hypocrite, takes the rose off the forehead of an innocent love and places a blister there, makes marriage vows as false as dicers' oaths.
Ay me, what act?
Look you.
Roars so loud and thunders in the index.
Here, on the counterfeit presentment of two brothers. Look here, what a grace was seated on this brow, Hyperion's curls, the front of Jove himself, an eye like Mars to threaten and command, a station like Mercury, new lighted on the heaven-kissing hill, a form where every god did seem to set his seal to give the world assurance of a man. This was your husband. Look you now what follows. Here is your husband, like a mildewed ear, blasting his wholesome brother. Have you eyes? Could you on this fair mountain leave to feed and batten on this moor? Ha! Have you eyes? You cannot call it love, for at your age the heyday in the blood is tame, it's humble, and waits upon the judgment. And what judgment would step from this to this? What devil was it that has cozened you at Hoodman blind? Oh, shame. Where is thy blush, rebellious hell? If thou canst mutine in a matron's bones to flaming youth, let virtue be as wax and melt in her own fire. Proclaim no shame when the compulsive ardor gives the charge, since frost itself as actively doth burn as reason panders the will.
Oh, Hamlet, speak no more! Thou turnest my eyes into my very soul, and there I see such black and great spots as leave their taint.
Nay, but to live in the rank sweat of an enseamed bed, honeying and making love over the nasty sty!
Speak to me no more! These words like daggers enter mine ears. No more, sweet Hamlet.
A murderer and a villain, a slave that is not 20th part the tithe of thy precedent lord, a vice of kings, a cutpurse of the empire that the precious diadem stole and put in his pocket.
No more.
King of shreds and patches. Leave me. Hover o'er me with your wings, you heavenly guards. What would your gracious figure?
Alas, he's mad.
Do you not come your tardy son to chide that lapsed in time and passion lets go by the important acting of your dread command? Oh, say!
Do not forget, this visitation is but to whet thy almost blunted purpose. But look, amazement on thy mother sits. Oh, step between her and her fighting soul, conceit in weakest body's strongest works. Speak to her, Hamlet.
How is it with you, lady?
Alas, how is it with you, that you do bend your eye on vacancy, and with the incorporeal air do hold discourse? Forth at your eyes your spirits wildly peep, and as sleeping soldiers in the alarm, your bedded hairs like life and excrement start up and stand on an end. Oh, gentle sun, upon the heat and flame of thy distemper, sprinkle cool patience. Whereupon do you look?
On him. On him! Look you how pale he glares, his form and cause conjoined, preaching to stones would make them capable. Do not look upon me, lest with this piteous action you convert my stern effects. Then what I have to do will want true color, tears, perchance for blood.
To whom do you speak this?
Do you see nothing there?
Nothing at all, yet all that is I see.
Nor did you nothing hear?
No, nothing but ourselves.
What? Look you now how he stands, even out at the portal, my father in his habit as he lived. Look you now where he goes.
This is the very coyness of your brain. This bodiless creation ecstasy is very cunning in.
Ecstasy. My pulse, as yours, doth temperately keep time and makes as healthful music. It is not madness that I have uttered. Bring me to the test, and I the matter will reword, which madness would gamble from. Mother, for love of grace, lay not that flattering unction to your soul that not your trespass, but my madness speaks. It will but skin and film the ulcerous place, whilst rank corruption, mining all within, infects unseen. Confess, yourself to heaven. Repent what's past. Avoid what is to come. And do not spread the compost on the weeds to make them ranker. Forgive me this, my virtue. In the fatness of these pursy times, virtue itself of vice must pardon beg. Yea, curb and woo for leave to do him good.
Oh, Hamlet, thou hast cleft my heart in twain.
Oh, throw away the worser part and live the better with the better half. Good night. But go not to my uncle's bed. Assume a virtue if you have it not.
What shall I do?
Not this, by no means, that I bid you do. Let the bloat king tempt you to his bed. Pinch wanton on your cheek, call you his mouse, and let him, for a pair of reachy kisses, or paddling in your neck with his damned fingers, make you to ravel out this matter, that I am essentially not in madness, but mad in craft.
Be thou assured, if words be made of breath and breath of life, I have no life to speak what thou hast said to me.
I must to England. You know that?
Alack, I'd forgot.
There's letters sealed, and my two schoolfellows, who I will trust as I will adders fanged, they bear the mandate. They must sweep my way and marshal me to knavery. Let it work, for it is the sport to have the engineer hoist by his own petard. This man shall send me packing. I'll lug the guts into the neighbor room. Indeed, this counselor is now most silent and grave, who was in life a foolish, prating knave. Good night, mother.
There's matter in these sighs, these profound heaves. You must translate to fitly understand them. Where is your son?
Oh, mine own Lord, what have I seen tonight?
What, Gertrude? How does Hamlet?
Mad as the sea and the wind when both contend which is the mightier, and his lawless fit behind the arras, hearing something stir, whips out his rapier, cries, a rat, and in this brainish apprehension kills the unseen good old man.
Oh, heavy deed. If it had been so with us, had we been there. His liberty is full of threats to all, to you yourself, to us, to everyone. Where is he gone?
To draw apart the body he has killed, over whom his very madness, like some ore among a mineral of metal's base, shows itself pure. He weeps for what he's done.
Oh, Gertrude, come away. The sun no sooner shall the mountains touch than we will ship him hence. And this vile deed we must with all our majesty and skill both countenance and excuse. Ho, Guildenstern! Friends both, go join you with some further aid. Hamlet in madness hath Polonius slain, and from his mother's closet hath he dragged him. Go, seek him out. Speak fair, bring the body into the chapel. I pray you, haste in this. Come, Gertrude, we'll call up our wisest friends and let them know both what we mean to do and what's untimely done, whose whisper o'er the world's diameter, as level as the cannon to his blank transports his poisoned shot, may miss our name and hit the woundless air. Oh, come away. My soul is full of discord and dismay.
Safely stowed.
Hamlet.
Lord Hamlet.
Soft! What noise? Who calls on Lord Hamlet? Oh, here they come.
My lord, what have you done with the dead body?
Compounded it with dust, whereto 'tis kin.
Tell it where it is, that we may take it thence and bear it to the chapel.
Do not believe it.
Believe what?
That I can keep your counsel and not mine own. Besides, to be demanded of a sponge, what replication should be made by the son of a king?
Take you me for a sponge, my lord?
Aye, sir, that soaks up the king's countenance, his rewards, his authorities, but such officers do the king best service in the end. He keeps them like an ape, an apple in the corner of his jaw, first mouthed to be last swallowed. When he needs what you have gleaned, it is but squeezing you and, sponge, you will be dry again.
I understand you not, my lord.
I am glad of it. A knavish speech sleeps in a foolish ear.
My lord, you must tell us where the body is and go with us to the king.
The body is with the king, but the king is not with the body. The king is a thing...
A thing? My lord?
Of nothing. Bring me to him, hide fox and after all.
I have sent to seek him and to find the body. How dangerous it is that this man goes loose. Yet we must not put the strong law on him. He is loved of the distracted multitude who like not in their judgment, but in their eyes, and where 'tis so, the offender's scourge is weighed, but never the offense. To bear all smooth and even, this sudden sending him away must seem deliberate pause. Diseases desperate grown are by desperate appliance relieved, or not at all.
Where the dead body is bestowed, my lord, we cannot get from him.
But where is he?
Without, my lord, guarded, to know your pleasure.
Bring him before us.
Ho, Guildenstern, bring in my lord.
Now, Hamlet, where's Polonius?
At supper.
At supper, where?
Not where he eats, but where he is eaten. A certain convocation of politic worms are e'en at him. Your worm is your only emperor for diet. We fat all creatures to fat ourselves, and we fat ourselves for maggots. Your fat king and your lean beggar is but variable service. 2 dishes but to 1 table. That's the end.
Alas, alas.
A man may fish with the worm that had to eat of a king, and eat of the fish that had to eat of that worm.
What dost thou mean by this?
Nothing but to show how a king can go to progress through the guts of a beggar.
Where is Polonius?
In heaven. Send thither to see. If your messenger find him not there, seek him in the other place yourself. But, indeed, if you find him not within this month, you'll nose him as you go up the stairs into the lobby.
Go, seek him there.
He will stay till you come.
Hamlet, this deed for thine especial safety, which we do tender, as we dearly grieve for that which thou hast done, must send thee hence with fiery quickness. Therefore prepare thyself. The bark is ready, the wind at help, the associates tend, and everything is bent for England.
For England.
Aye, Hamlet.
Good.
So is it, if you knewest our purposes.
I see a cherub that sees them, but for England. Farewell, dear mother.
Thy loving father, Hamlet.
My mother. mother and father is man and wife is one flesh, and therefore my mother. But come for England!
Follow him at foot, tempt him with speed aboard. Delay it not, I'll have him hence tonight. Away, for everything is sealed and done that else leans on the affair. I pray you, haste in this. And, England, if my love thou hold'st at aught, as my great power thereof may give thee sense, since yet the cicatrice looks raw and red after the Danish sword, and thy free awe pays homage to us, thou mayst not coldly set our sovereign process, which imports at full by letters congruing to that effect the present death of Hamlet. Do it, England, for like the hectic in my blood he rages, and thou must cure me. Till I know 'tis done, howe'er my haps, my joys will ne'er begin.
Go, Captain. From me greet the Danish king. Tell him that by his license, Fortinbras craves the conveyance of a promised march over his kingdom. You know the rendezvous? That his majesty would aught with us, we shall express our duty in his eye. And let him know so.
I will do it, my lord.
Go softly on.
Good sir, whose powers are these?
They have no way, sir.
How purposed, sir, I pray you?
Against some part of Poland.
Who commands them?
The nephew told Norway, Fortinbras.
Goes it against the main of Poland, sir, or some frontier?
Truly to speak, and with no addition, we go to gain a little patch of ground to pay, or that hath it no profit but the name, to pay 5 ducats. 5! I would not farm it, nor will it yield to Norway or the Pole, or rank a rate, should it be sold in fee.
Why, then the Poles sure never will defend it.
Yes, it is already garrisoned.
2,000 souls and 20,000 ducats will not debate the question of this straw. This is the imposthume of much wealth and peace that inward breaks and shows no cause without how the man dies. I humbly thank you, sir.
God be with you.
Will it please you go?
I'll be with you straight. Go a little before. All occasions do inform against me and spur my dull revenge. What is a man if his chief good and market of his time be but to sleep and feed? A beast, no more. Now, whether it be bestial oblivion or some craven scruple of thinking too precisely on the event, I know not. Why still I live to say the things to do, sith I have cause and will and strength and means to do it. Examples, gross as earth, exhort me. Witness this army of such mass and charge, led by a delicate and tender prince, whose spirit with divine ambition puffed makes mouths at the invisible event, exposing all that is mortal and unsure to all that fortune, death, and danger dare, even for an eggshell. Rightly, to be great is not to stir without great argument, but to find quarrel in a straw when honor's at the stake. How stand I then, that have a father killed, a mother stained, excitements of my reason and my blood to let all sleep? Well, to my shame, I see the imminent death of 20,000 men that for a fantasy, trick of fame, go to their graves like beds, fight for a plot whereon the numbers cannot try the cause, which is not tomb enough and continent to hide the slain. Oh, from this time forth my thoughts be bloody or be nothing worth.
I will not speak with her.
Fortunate, indeed distract. Her mood will needs be pitied.
What would she have?
She speaks much of her father, says she hears there's tricks in the world, and hems, and beats her heart, spurns enviously at straw. Speaks things in doubt that carry but half sense. Her speech is nothing, yet the unshaped use of it doth move the hearers to collection. They aim at it, and botch the words up to fit their own thoughts, which, as her winks and nods and gestures yield them, indeed would make one think there would be thought, though nothing sure, yet much unhappily.
For good she were spoken with, for she may strew dangerous thoughts in ill-breeding minds.
Let her come in. My sick soul, as sin's true nature is, each toy seems prologue to some great amiss. So full of artless jealousy is guilt. It spills itself, in fearing to be spilt.
Where is the beauteous majesty of Denmark?
How now, Ophelia?
How should I your true love know from another one? By his cockle, bat, and staff, and his sandal shoe.
Alas, sweet lady, what imports this song?
Say you? Nay, pray you mark. He is dead and gone, lady. He is dead and gone. At his head a grass green turned, at his heel a stone. Oh,
Nay, but Ophelia.
pray you mark. White his shroud as the mountain snow.
Alas, alas, look here, my lord.
Larded all his sweet flowers, which who wept to the grave did not go with true love showers.
How do you, pretty lady?
Well, God dild you. They say the owl was the baker's daughter. Lord, we know what we are, but know not what we may be. God be at your table.
Conceit upon her father.
Pray, let's have no words of this. But when they ask you what it means, say you this. Tomorrow is Saint Valentine's Day, all in the morning betime, and I, a maid at your window, to be your Valentine. Then up he rose and donned his clothes, and up to the chamber door. Let in the maid that out a maid never departed more.
Pretty Ophelia.
Indeed, without an oath, I'll make an end on it. By Gis and by Saint Charity, alack and fie for shame. Young men will do it if they come to it. By cock they are to blame. Quoth she, before you tumbled me, who promised me to wed. He answers, and so would I have done by yonder sun, and thou hadst not come to my bed.
How long has she been thus?
I hope all will be well. We must be patient, but I cannot choose but we. To think they would lay him in the cold ground. My brother shall know of it. And so I thank you for your good counsel. Come, my coach. Good night, ladies. Good night, sweet ladies. Good night.
Follow her close. Give her good watch, I pray you. Oh, this is the poison of deep grief. It springs all from her father's death, and now, behold, her brother is in secret come from France, feeds on his wonder, keeps himself in clouds, and lacks not buzzers to infect his ear with pestilent speeches of his father's death, wherein necessity of matter beggared will nothing stick our person to a rhyme in ear and ear. Oh, my dear Gertrude, this, like to a murdering peace, in many places gives me superfluous death.
Alack, what noise is this?
Attend! Where is my Switzers? Let them guard the door! What is the matter?
Save yourself, my lord. The ocean, over peering up his list, eats not the flax with more impetuous haste than young Laertes. In a riotous head overbears your officers. The rabble call him Lord, and, as the world were now but to begin, antiquity forgot, customs not known, the ratifiers and props of every word, they cry, "Choose we! Laertes shall be king!" Caps, heads, and tongues apply to the clouds. Laertes shall be king! Laertes king!
Fearfully on the false trail they cry, "Oh, this is counter, you false Danish dogs!"
The doors are broke.
Where is this king? Sir, stand you all without. I pray you, give me leave. I thank you. Keep the door. Oh, thou vile king, give me my father!
Come, my good lady.
That drop of blood that's calm proclaims me bastard, cries cuckold to my father, brands the harlot even here between the chaste unsmirched brow of my true mother.
What is the cause, Laertes, that thy rebellion looks so giant-like? Tell me, Laertes, why thou art thus incensed. Speak, man.
Where is my father?
Dead.
But not by him.
Let him demand his fill.
How came he dead? I'll not be juggled with. To hell! Allegiance vows to the blackest devil, conscience and grace to the profoundest pit. I dare damnation. To this point I stand that both the worlds I give to negligence. Let come what comes. Only I'll be revenged most thoroughly from my father.
Who shall stay you?
My will, not all the world, and for my means I'll husband them so well, they shall go far with little.
Good Laertes, if you desire to know the certainty of your father's death, is it written your revenge that swoop-stake you will draw both friend and foe, winner and loser?
None but his enemies.
Ah, will you know them then?
To his good friends thus wide I'll ope my arms, and like the kind life-rendering pelican, repast them with my blood.
Why, now you speak like a good child and a true gentleman. But I am guiltless in your father's death, and am most sensibly in grief for it. It shall as level to your judgment peer as day does to your eye.
Let her come in.
Oh, now what noise is that? Oh, heat, dry up my brains. Tears 7 times salt burn out the sense and virtue of mine eye. By heaven, thy madness shall be paid with weight till our scale turn the beam. Oh, Rose of May, dear maid, kind sister, sweet Ophelia. Oh, heavens, is it possible a young maid's wit should be as mortal as an old man's life?
Hey, nunny, hey, nunny. And in his grave rained many a tear. Fare you well, my dove.
Hadst thou thy wits and didst persuade revenge, it could not move thus.
You must sing a down, and you call him a downa. Oh, how the wheel becomes it. It is the false steward who stole his master's daughter.
This nothing's more than matter.
There's rosemary. That's for remembrance. Pray you, love, remember. And here's pansies, that's for thoughts.
Document in madness, thoughts and remembrance fitted.
There's fennel for you and columbines. Here's rue for you, and there's some for me. We may call it herb of grace o' Sundays. Oh, you must wear your rue with a difference. There's a daisy. I would give you some violets, but they withered all when my father died. They say he made a good end. Oh, bonny sweet robin is all my joy.
Thought and afflictions, passion, hell itself. She turns to favor and to prettiness.
And will he not come again? And will he not come again? Oh no, he is dead. Go to thy deathbed. He never will come again. His beard was white as snow, flaxen was his coat. He's gone, and we passed away alone. God have mercy on his soul. And of all Christian souls, I pray God be with you.
Do you see this, oh God?
Laertes, I must commune with your grief, or you deny me right. Go but apart, make choice of whom your wisest friends you will, and they will hear and judge twixt you and me. If by direct or by collateral hand they find us touched, we will our kingdom give, our crown, our life, and all that we call ours to you in satisfaction. But if not, be you content to lend your patience to us, and we will jointly labor with your soul to give it due content.
Let this be so. His means of death, his obscure funeral, no trophy, sword, nor hatchment over his bones, no noble rite, nor formal ostentation. Cry to be heard as proof from heaven to earth that I must call it in question.
So you shall, and where the offense is, let the great axe fall. I pray you, go with me.
What are they that would speak with me?
Seafaring men, sir. They say they have letters for you.
Let them come in. I do not know from what part of the world I should be hailed, if not by Lord Hamlet.
God bless you, sir.
And let him bless thee too.
He shall, sir, and please him. There's a letter for you, sir. It came from the ambassador that was bound for England. If your name be Horatio, as I am led to believe it is.
Horatio, when thou shalt have overlooked this, give these fellows some means to the king. They have letters for him. Ere we were 2 days old at sea, a pirate of very warlike appointment gave us chase. Finding ourselves too slow of sail, we put on a compelled valor, and in the grapple I boarded them. On the instant they got clear of our ship, so I alone became their prisoner. They have dealt with me like thieves of mercy, but they knew what they did. I am to do a good turn for them. Let the king have the letters I have sent, and repair thou to me with as much speed as thou wouldst fly death. I have words to speak in thy ear would make thee dumb. Yet are they much too light for the bore of the matter. This good fellow will bring thee where I am. Rosencrantz and Guildenstern hold their course for England. Of them I have much to tell thee. Farewell. Be that thou knowest thine. Hamlet. Come, I will give you way for these your letters, and do it the speedier that you may direct me to him from whom you brought them.
Now must your conscience my acquittance feel, and you must put me in your heart for friends, if you have heard, and with a knowing ear, that he which hath your noble father slain pursued my life.
It well appears, but tell me why you proceeded not against these feats so criminal and so capital in nature, as by your safety, greatness, wisdom, all things else, you mainly were stirred up.
For two special reasons, which may perhaps to you seem much unsinewed, but yet to me they're strong. The queen, his mother, lives almost by his looks. The other reason why to a public count I might not go is the great love which the general gender bear him, who, dipping all his faults in their affections, work like the spring that turneth wood to stone, convert his gyves to graces, so that my arrows, too slightly timbered for so loud a wind, would have reverted to my bow again, but not where I have aimed them.
And so have I, a noble father, lost, a sister driven into desperate terms whose worth, if praises may go back again, stood challenger on mount of all the age for her perfections. But my revenge will come.
Break not your sleeps for that. You must not think we are made of stuff so flat and dull that we can let our beard be shook with danger and think it pastime. You shortly shall hear more. I loved your father, and we love ourselves, and that, I hope, will teach you to imagine. How now? What news?
Letters, my lord, from Hamlet. These, your majesty, this, the queen.
From Hamlet? Who brought them?
Sailors, my lord, they say. I saw them not.
Laertes, you shall hear them. Leave us. High and mighty, you shall know I am set naked on your kingdom. Tomorrow shall I beg leave to see your kingly eyes, when I shall, first asking your pardon, thereunto recount the sudden and more strange occasion of my return. Hamlet. What should this mean? Are all the rest come back? Or is it some abuse and no such thing?
Know you the hand?
'Tis Hamlet's character. Naked, and in a postscript here he says, alone. Can you advise me?
I am lost in it, my lord. But let him come. It warms the very sickness in my heart that I shall live and tell him to his teeth, thus didst thou.
If it be so, as how should it be so? How otherwise? Will you be ruled by me?
Aye, my lord. So you will not overrule me to a peace?
To thine own peace. If he is returned, as checking at his voyage, and that he means no more to undertake it, I will work him to an exploit now ripe in my device, under which he shall not choose but fall. And for his death, no wind of blame shall breathe, but even his own mother shall uncharge the practice and call it accident.
My lord, I will be ruled. The rather, if you could devise it so that I might be the organ.
It falls right. You have been talked of, and that in Hamlet's hearing, much since your travel. 2 months since, here was a gentleman of Normandy. He made confession of you and gave you such a masterly report for art and exercise in your defense, and for your rapier most especial, that he cried out, 'twould be a sight indeed if one could match you. This report of his did Hamlet so envenom with his envy that he could nothing do but wish and beg your sudden coming over to play with you. Now, out of this.
What out of this, my lord?
Laertes, was your father dear to you, or are you like a painting of a sorrow, a face without a heart?
Why ask you this?
Hamlet is come home. What would you do to prove yourself indeed your father's son, more than in words?
To cut his throat in the church.
No place indeed should murder sanctuarize. Revenge should know no bounds. But, good Laertes, will you do this? Keep close within your chamber. Hamlet, return, shall know you are come home. We will put on those shall praise your excellence, and set a double varnish on the fame the Frenchman gave you, bring you in fine together, and set a wager on your heads. He, being remits, most generous, and free from all contriving, will not peruse the foils, so that, with ease, or with a little shuffling, you may choose a sword unbaited, and in a pass of practice requite him for your father.
I will do it. And for that purpose I'll anoint my sword. I bought an unction of a mountebank, so mortal that, but dip a knife in it, where it draws blood, no cataplasm so rare, collected from all simples that have virtue under the moon, can save the thing from death that is but scratched withal. I will touch my point with this contagion, that if I gall him slightly, it may be death.
Let's further think of this, weigh what convenience both of time and means may fit us to our shape. If this should fail, and our drift look through our bad performance, 'twere better not essayed. Therefore this project should have some back or second that might hold if this did blast in proof. Soft, let me see, we'll make a solemn wager on your comings. I have it. When in your motion you are hot and dry, as make your bouts more violent to that end, and that he calls for drink, I'll have prepared him a chalice for the nonce, whereon but sipping, if he by chance escape your venom stuck, our purpose may hold there. But stay, what noise?
Woe doth tread upon another's heel, so fast they follow. Your sister's drowned, Laertes.
Drowned? Oh. Where?
There is a willow grows, a scanty brook, which shows his hoary leaves in the glassy stream. There with fantastic garlands did he come, with crowflowers, nettles, daisies, and long purple. There on the pendant boughs were cornet weeds, clamoring to hang, and envious silver broke, when down her weedy trophies and herself fell into the weeping brook. Her clothes spread wide, and mermaid-like a while. They bore her up, which time she chanted snatches of old loves, as one incapable of her own distress, or like a creature native and endued unto that element. But long it could not be, till that her garments, heavy with their drink, pulled the poor wretch from her melodious lay to muddy death.
Alas, then she is drowned.
Drowned.
Too much of water hast thou, poor Ophelia, and therefore I forbid my tears. But yet it is our trick. Nature has cast us all. Let shame say what it will. When these are gone, the woman will be out. Adieu, my lord. I have a speech of fire that fain would blaze. But that this folly drowns it.
Let's follow, Gertrude. How much I had to do to calm his rage. Now fear I this will give it start again. Therefore, let's follow.
Is she to be buried in Christian burial when she willfully seeks her own salvation?
I tell thee she is. Therefore make her grave straight, for the crowner hath sat on her and finds it Christian burial.
How can that be? Unless she drowned herself in her own defense.
Why, 'tis found so.
It must be se offendendo. It cannot be else. For here lies the point. If I drown myself, Wittingly, it argues an act. And an act has three branches. It is to act, to do, and to perform. Ergal, she drowned herself, wittingly.
Nay, but hear you, good man Delver.
Give me leave. Here lies the water. Good. Here stands the man. Good. If the man go to this water and drown himself, it is will he, nil he goes. Mark you that. But if the water come to him and drown him, he drowns not himself.
But is this law?
Aye, Mary, his crowner's quest law.
Will you have the truth on it? If this had not been a gentlewoman, she should have been buried at a Christian burial.
Why, there thou sayest, and the more pity that great folk should have countenance in this world to drown or hang themselves more than they're even Christian. Come, my spade. There is no ancient gentleman but gardeners, ditchers, and grave makers. They hold up Adam's profession.
Was he a gentleman?
He was the first that ever bore arms.
Why, he had none.
What art a heathen? How dost thou understand the scripture? The scripture says Adam digged. Could he dig without arms? Arms? I'll put another question to thee. If thou answerest me not to the purpose, confess thyself.
Go to.
What is he that built stronger than either the mason, the shipwright, or the carpenter?
The gallows maker, for that frame outlives 1,000 tenants.
I like that well in good faith. The gallows does well. Ergal, the gallows may do well to thee. Do it again. Come.
Who builds stronger than a mason, a shipwright, or a carpenter?
Aye, tell me that, and unyoke.
Mary, now I can tell.
Do it.
Mass, I cannot tell.
Cudgel thy brains no more about it, for your dull ass will not mend his pace with beating. And when you are asked this question next, say, a grave maker. The houses he makes last till doomsday. Go get thee in and fetch me a stoop of liquor. In youth when I did love, methought it was very sweet to contract all the time for my behold. Methought there was a nothing of meat.
Has this fellow no feeling of his business that he sings at grave making?
Custom hath made it in him a property of easiness.
The heavier hand hath the daintier sense.
But age with its stealing steps hath clawed me in its clutch and has shipped me into the land as if I had ever been such. Ooh.
That skull had a tongue in it and could sing once. See how the knave jowls it to the ground as if it were Cain's jawbone that did the first murder. It could be the pate of a politician which this ass now o'erreaches, could it not?
It might, my lord.
Right well. Or it could be the skull of a courtier, a lord who could say, "Good morrow, sweet lord," or "How dost thou, good lord?" This might be my lord such a one who praised my lord such a one's horse when he meant to beg it, might it not?
Aye, my lord, it might.
Now my lady worms chapless and knocked about the mazzard with a sexton's spade. Why did these bones cost no more but to play loggets with them? Mine ache to think on it.
A pickaxe and a spade and a shrouding sheet. Oh, a pit of clay for to be made for such a guest is meet.
I will speak to this fellow. Whose grave's this, sirrah?
Mine, sir. Oh, a pit of clay for to be made, for such a guest is meet.
I think it be thine indeed, for thou liest in it.
You lie out on, sir, and therefore 'tis not yours. For my part, I do not lie in it, yet it is mine.
Thou dost lie in it, to be in it, and say it is thine. 'Tis for the dead, not for the quick. Therefore thou liest.
'Tis a quick lie, sir. 'Twill away again from me to you.
What man dost thou dig this for?
For no man, sir.
What woman, then?
For none, neither.
Who is to be buried in it?
One that was a woman, sir, but rest her soul, she's dead.
How absolute the knave is. We must speak by the card, or equivocation will undo us. How long hast thou been a grave maker?
All the days in the year I came to it, that day that our last king Hamlet overcame Fortinbras.
How long is that since?
Can you not tell that? Every fool can tell that. It was the very day that young Hamlet was born. He that was mad and sent into England.
Aye, Mary, why was he sent to England?
Why? Because he was mad. He shall recover what's there. Or if you do not, 'tis no great matter there.
Why?
He will not be seen in him there. There the men are as mad as he. Here's a skull hath lain you in the earth 23 years.
Whose was it?
A whoresome mad fellow's it was. Whose do you think it was?
Nay, I know not.
Pestilence on him for mad rogue. He poured a flagon of Rhenish on my head once. This same skull, sir, was, sir, Yorick's skull, the king's jester.
In this?
In that.
Let me see.
Mm-hmm.
Alas, poor Yorick. I knew him, Horatio, a fellow of infinite jest, of most excellent fancy. He hath borne me on his back 1,000 times. Now, how abhorred it is in my memory, my gorge rises at it. Here hung those lips that I have kissed, I know not how oft. Where be your jibes now? Your gambols, your flashes of merriment that were wont to set the table at a roar? Not one now to mock your own grinning? Quite chop fallen. Now, get thee to my lady's chambers and tell her, let her paint an inch thick. To this she must come. Make her laugh at that. Prithee, Horatio, answer me one thing.
What is't, my lord?
Dost thou think Alexander looked o' this fashion in the grave?
E'en so, my lord.
And smelt so.
E'en so.
What base uses we may return, Horatio. But soft, aside. Here comes the king. The queen, the courtiers. Who is this they follow, and with such maimed rites? This doth betoken that the course they do follow did with some desperate hand fordo its own life. Couch we a while, and watch.
What ceremony else?
That is Laertes, a very noble youth. Mark.
What ceremony else?
Her obsequies have been as far enlarged as we have warranty. Her death was doubtful, and but that great command or sways the order, she should, in ground unsanctified, have lodged till the last trumpet. For charitable prayers, shards, flints, and pebbles should be thrown on her, yet here she is, allowed her virgin rites, her maiden instruments, and the bringing home of bell and burial.
Must there no more be done?
No more be done. We should profane the service of the dead to sing a requiem and such rest to her as to peace parted souls.
Lay her in the earth, and from her fair and unpolluted flesh may violence spring. I tell thee, churlish priest, a ministering angel shall my sister be when thou liest howling.
What, the fair Ophelia?
Priest the sweet, farewell. I hope thou shouldst have been my Hamlet's wife. I thought thy bride bed to have decked, sweet maid, and not to have strewed thy grave. Oh, treble woe, fall 10 times treble on that cursed head, whose wicked deed thy most ingenious sense deprived thee of. Hold off the earth awhile till I have caught her once more in mine arms. Now pile your dust on the quick and dead, till of this flat a mountain you have made o'ertop old Pelion or the skyish head of blue Olympus.
What is he whose grief bears such emphasis? Who would conjure the wandering stars and make them stand like wonder-wounded hearers? This is I, Hamlet the Dane.
The devil take thy soul!
Thou priest not well. I prithee, take thy fingers from my throat. For though I am not splenitive and rash, yet have I in me something dangerous, which let thy wisdom fear. Hold off your hands.
Pluck them asunder.
Good, my lord, be quiet. Gentlemen.
Why, I will fight with him on this theme until my eyelids will no longer wag.
Oh, my son, what theme?
I loved Ophelia. 40,000 brothers could not, with all their quantity of love, make out my sum. What wilt thou do for her?
Oh, he is mad, Laertes.
For love of God, forbear him.
Oh, show me what thou do. Wilt weep, wilt fight, wilt fast, wilt tear thyself, drink up Aesop, eat a crocodile? I'll do it. Dost thou come here to whine? To outface me with leaping in her grave? Be buried quick with her, and so will I. And if thou prate of mountains, let them throw millions of acres upon us, till our ground, singeing his pate against the burning zone, make us like a wart. Nay, and I'll rant as well as thou.
Mere madness. And thus awhile the fit will work on him, and on as patient as the female dove. When that her golden couplets are disclosed, his silence will sit drooping.
Oh, sir, why is it you use me thus? I loved you ever. It is no matter. Let Hercules himself do what he may. Cat will mew, and dog will have his day.
I pray thee, good Horatio, wait upon him. Laertes, strengthen your patience in our last night's speech. We'll put the matter to the present push. Gertrude, set some watch over your son. An hour of quiet thereby shall we see. Till then in patience our proceeding be.
So much for this, sir. Now shall you see the other? Yes? Sir, in my heart there was a kind of fighting that would not let me sleep. Rashly, and praise be rashness for it, let us know our indiscretion sometimes serves us well when our deep plots do pall. And that should learn us. There's a divinity that shapes our ends, rough hew them as we will.
That is most certain.
Up from my cabin, my sea gown scarfed about me in the dark, groped I to find out them, had my desire, fingered their packet, and, in fine, withdrew back to my own rooms. Making so bold, my fears forgetting manners, to unseal the royal commission, where I found, oh Horatio, royal knavery, an exact command that on the supervised no leisure bated, not to stay the grinding of the axe, but my head should be struck off.
If possible.
Aye, here's the commission. read it at your most leisure. But wilt thou hear me how I did proceed?
I beseech you.
Being thus benetted round with villainies, I sat me down, devised a new commission, wrote it fair. I once did hold it as our status due, a curse to write fair, and did much effort to try to forget the habit, but it did me yeoman service now. Wilt thou know the effect of what I wrote?
Aye, good my lord.
An earnest conjuration from the king that on the view and knowing of these contents, he should the bearer put to sudden death, not shriving time allowed.
How was this sealed?
Even that was heaven ordinant. I had my father's signet in my purse, which was the very picture of that Danish seal. I folded the writ in the form of the other, subscribed it, gave it the seal, and placed it safely, the changeling never known. The next day was our sea fight, and what is sequent to this thou knowst already.
So Rosencrantz and Guildenstern go to it.
Why, man, they did make love to the employment. They are not near my conscience. It is dangerous when the baser nature comes between the pass and fell in sense points of two mighty opposites.
Why, what a king is this?
Does it not stand me now upon? He that hath killed my king, whored my mother, popped in between the election and my hopes, thrown out his angle for my proper life, and with such cozenage, is it not perfect conscience to quit him with this hand? And is it not to be damned to let this canker of our nature come in further evil?
It must shortly be known to him from England. What is the business here?
It will be known shortly. The interim is mine, and a man's life is no more but to say one. But I am sorry, Horatio, that to Laertes I forgot myself, for in my cause I see the picture of his own. But the effect of his grief did put me into a towering passion.
Peace, who comes here? Your lordship is right welcome back to Denmark.
I humbly thank you.
Sweet lord, if your lordship were at leisure, I should impart a thing to you from his majesty.
I will receive it, sir, with all diligence of spirit. Put your bonnet to its right use, 'tis for the head.
I thank your lordship, it is very hot.
No, I do believe it is very cold. The wind is northerly.
Oh, it is indifferent cold, my lord, indeed.
He thinks it is very sultry and hot for my complexion.
Exceedingly, my lord, it is very sultry, as I cannot tell how, but my lord, his majesty bade me to signify to you that he had laid a great wager on your head, sir. This is the matter.
Sir, I beseech you, remember.
Nay, good, my lord, for my knees in good faith. Sir, here is newly come to court Laertes. Believe me, an absolute gentleman, full of most excellent differences, of very soft society, of great showing. Indeed, to speak feelingly of him, he is the card or calendar of gentry, for you shall find in him the cognate of what part a gentleman would see.
Sir, his definement suffers no perdition in you, though I know to divide him inventorially would dizzy the arithmetic of memory, and yet but yaw neither in respect of his quick sail. But in the verity of extolment, I take him to be a soul of great article, and his infusion of dearth and rareness as to make true diction of him his semblable as his mirror. And who else would trace him, his umbrage, nothing more.
You speak most emphatically about him.
The meaning, sir, why do we wrap the gentleman in our more rawer breath?
Sir? It's not possible to understand in another tongue. You will to it, sir? Really?
What is the impartment of this gentleman?
Of Laertes? Old words are spent. His purse is empty.
Of him.
I know you are not ignorant.
I would you did, sir. Yet in faith, if you did, it would not much approve me. Well, sir?
I know you are not ignorant of what excellence Laertes is.
I dare not confess that, lest I should compare with him in excellence, but to know a man well were to know himself.
I mean, sir, for his weapon, but in the imputation laid on him, but then he is...
What's his weapon, sir?
Rapier and dagger.
That's two of his weapons, but, well.
The king, sir, hath wagered with his 6 Barbary horses against that which he had imponed, as I take it. 6 French rapiers and ponies red within their signs as griddle hangers, and so.
Why is this imponed, as you call it?
The king, sir, hath laid down at dozen passes between yourself and him. He shall not exceed you there. 3 hits he hath laid on 12 for 9. It would come to immediate trial, for your lordship would vouchsafe the answer.
How if I answer no?
I mean, my lord, the opposition of your person in trial.
Sir, I will walk here in the hall. If it please his majesty, it is the breathing time of day with me. Let the foils be brought, the gentleman willing, and the king hold his purpose. I will win for him, and I can. If I do not, I will receive nothing but my shame in the odd hits.
Shall I redeliver your inso?
To this effect, sir, after what flourish you see fit.
I commend my duty to your lordship.
Yours! He does well to commend it himself. There are no tongues else for turn.
The lapwing runs with his shell on his head.
He did comply with his dug before he sucked it.
My lord, his majesty commended him to you by young Osric, who brings back to him that you attend him in the hall. He sends to know if your pleasure holds of Laertes, or that you take longer time.
I am constant to my purposes. They follow the king's pleasure. If his fitness speaks, mine is ready now, or whensoever he sees fit, provided I be so able as now.
The king and queen are all coming down.
In happy time.
The queen desires you to use some gentle entertainment to Laertes before you fall to play.
She well instructs me.
You will lose, my lord.
Oh, I do not think so. Since he has been in France, I've been at continual practice. I will win at the odds. But you would not think all's well here about my heart. But it is no matter.
Nay, good my lord.
It is but foolery, a kind of gain-giving as would perhaps trouble a woman.
If your mind dislike anything, obey it. I will forestall their repair hither and say you are not well.
Not a word. We defy augury. There's special providence in the fall of a sparrow. If it be now, 'tis not to come. If it be not to come, it will be now. If it be not now, but it will come. Since no man has aught of what he leaves, what is it to leave betimes? Let be.
Come, Hamlet, come and take this hand from me.
Give me your pardon, sir. I've done you wrong. This presence knows, and you must needs have heard, how I am punished with sore distraction. What I've done that might your nature, honor, and exception roughly awake, I here proclaim was madness. Was it Hamlet that wrongs Laertes? Never Hamlet, if Hamlet from himself be ta'en away. Then Hamlet does it not. Hamlet denies it. Who does it? His madness. Hamlet's madness is his enemy. Sir, in this audience, Let my disclaiming from a purposed evil free me so far in your most generous thoughts, that I have shot mine arrow o'er the house and hurt my brother.
I am satisfied in nature, whose motive in this case should stir me most to my revenge. But in my terms of honor I stand aloof, and will no reconcilement till by some elder masters of known honor I have a voice and precedent of peace to keep my name ungored. But till that time I do receive your offered love like love, and will not wrong it.
I embrace it freely, and will this brother's wager play. Give us the foils. Come on.
Come, one for me.
I'll be your foil, Laertes. In my ignorance, your skill shall, like a star in the darkest night, stick fiery off.
You mock me, sir.
No, by this hand.
Young Osric, give them the foils. Cousin Hamlet, you know the wager?
Very well, my lord. Your grace has laid the odds of the weaker side.
I do not fear it. I have seen you both, but since he is better, we have therefore odds.
This is too heavy. Let me see another.
This likes me well. These foils have all a length.
Hi, my good lord.
Set me the stoops of wine upon the table. If Hamlet give the first or second hit, or Quentin answer the third exchange, let all the battlements their ordnance fire. The king shall drink to Hamlet's better breath, and in the cup a union shall he throw, richer than that which 4 successive kings in Denmark's crown have worn. Give me the cups, and let the kettle to the trumpets beat, the trumpets the cannoneer without, the cannons to the heavens to earth. Now the king drinks to Hamlet. Come, begin, and you, the judges, bear a wary eye.
Come, sir.
Come, my lord.
One.
No.
Judgment?
A hit. A very probable hit. Well, again.
Stay, give me drink. Hamlet, this pearl is thine. Here's to thy health. Give him the cup.
I'll play this bout first. Let it by a while. Come. Another hit. What say you?
A touch, I do confess it.
Oh, Hamlet, you're fat and scant of breath. Here, take my napkin. Rub thy brow. The queen congratulates to thy fortune, Hamlet.
Good madam.
Gertrude, do not drink.
I will, my lord. I pray you pardon me.
It is the poisoned cup. It is too late.
I dare not drink yet, madam. By and by.
My lord, I'll hit him now.
I do not think it.
And yet it is almost against my conscience.
Come, for the third, Laertes, you but dally. I pray you, pass with your best violence. I'm afeard you make a wanton of me.
Say you so. Come on. Nothing neither way. How about you now?
Nay, come again.
Look to the queen. There, how? They bleed on both sides. How is my lord? How is Laertes? Why, as a woodcock to mine own springe, Osric. I am justly killed with mine own treachery.
How does the queen?
She swoons to see them bleed.
No. The drink. Oh, my dear Hamlet, I am poisoned.
Oh, villainy! Let the door be locked! Treachery, seek it out!
It is here, Hamlet! Hamlet, thou art slain. No medicine in the world can do thee good. In thee there is not half an hour's life. The treacherous instrument is in thy hand, unbaited and envenomed. The foul practice hath turned itself on me. Oh, here I lie, never to rise again. Thy mother's poisoned. I can no more. The king is to blame.
The point in venom too. Then venom to thy work.
Oh, yet defend me, friends. I am but hurt.
Here, thou incestuous, murderous, damned Dane, drink off this potion. Is thy union here? Follow my mother.
He is justly served. It is a poison tempered by himself. Exchange forgiveness with me, noble Hamlet. Mine and my father's death come not upon thee, nor thine on me.
Heaven make thee free of it. I follow thee. I am dead, Horatio. Thou livest. Wretched queen, adieu. You that look pale and tremble at this chance, that are but mutes or audience to this act. Had I but time, as this fell sergeant death is swift in his arrest, I could tell you, but let it be. Horatio, I am dead. Thou livest. Report me and my cause to the unsatisfied.
Never believe it. I am more an antique Roman than a Dane. Here's yet some liquor left.
As thou art a man, give me the cup. By heaven, I'll have it. Oh, Horatio, what a wounded name. If thou didst ever hold me in thy heart, absent thee from felicity a while, and draw thy breath in pain to tell my story. What warlike noise is this?
Young Fortinbras, to the ambassadors of Poland, and to the assassins of England, given this warlike volley!
Oh, I die, Horatio. This potent poison quite o'ercrows my spirits. Cannot live long enough to hear the news from England, but I do prophesy the election lights on Fortinbras. He has my dying voice, so tell him with the occurrence more and less which have solicited. The rest is silence.
Now cracks the noble heart. Good night, sweet prince, and let flights of angels sing me to thy rest. Why does the drum come hither?
Where is this sight?
What is it thou wouldst see? If aught of woe or wonder, cease your search.
This quarry cries on havoc. O proud death, what feastest toward in thine eternal cell, that so many princes at a shot so bloodily hast struck?
Sight is dismal, and our affairs from England come too late. The ears are senseless that should give us hearing, to tell him his commandment is fulfilled, that Rosencrantz and Guildenstern are dead. Where should we have our thanks?
Not from his mouth. Had it the ability of life to thank you. He never gave the commandment for their death. But so jump upon this bloody question, you from the Polish wars and you from England have here arrived. Give order that these bodies high on a stage be placed to the view, and let me tell the yet unknowing world of what has happened here.
so shall you hear of carnal, bloody, and unnatural acts, of casual slaughters, judgment, and, in the upshot, purposes mistook, fallen on the inventors' heads. All this can I truly deliver.
Let us haste to hear it, and call the noblest to the audience. For me, with sorrow, I embrace my fortune. I have some rights of memory in this kingdom, which now to claim my vantage doth invite me.
Of that I shall also have cause to speak, and from whose mouth will draw on more. But let the same presently be performed, even while men's minds are wild, lest more mischance on thoughts and errors happen.
Let 4 captains bear Hamlet like a soldier to the stage, for he was likely, had he been put on, to have proved most royal. And for his passage, the soldier's music in the right of war will speak loudly for him. Take up the bodies. Such a sight as this becomes the field, but here shows much amiss. Go, bid the soldiers shoot.